Hey, everybody. Welcome to the late... I'm keeping it. Welcome to the Late Horror Show. I'm Dino.
Tedrico.
Tedrico. Oh, yeah. And what are we going to do? I'm going to just tell you a little bit. We're doing King Kong today, 1933. We're veering off a little bit here.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little bit of fun. We are doing the next 3 weeks, well, this week, and then the next 2 weeks. Oh, sorry. I got my glasses on because I thought we were doing Men in Black.
Totally wrong. It's not my favorite movie.
Yeah, because I said...
I never even saw it.
I don't think we're ever going to do Men in Black.
I don't think I've ever seen a Will Smith movie.
On my list, I think it's...
I don't think I've ever seen a movie with him in it.
It's number 1 million on my list of movies.
Oh, well, at least at least it made the list.
So, anyways. There we go. Anyways, hey, we're going to have fun. This is Ted's number 1 favorite film of all time, King Kong. And he's going to let you know why. It's just like... And everything about it. Like, so this is cool. I'm going to learn some stuff about King Kong, too. But, yeah, and then next week and the week after, we're going to do Ted's number. And we're starting number 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, my top 3
You know why?
Films.
Because what the heck? I don't care.
And I think we said we were going to do like maybe a month of Hammer.
Yes, after his 3 movies, we're going to do a month probably of Hammer horror.
That should take us to about Christmas time. And
then we'll probably pop in a Christmas movie.
Yeah, we'll find something.
And then we'll get to my top 3.
Yeah, we're going to wait for that.
Oh, no. It's going to be good.
It'd be like
Mean
Girls.
Mean Girls, yeah.
Chud.
Yoga hosers. Chud. Hey, well, you know what? We will eventually, after all of this, in my 3, anyway. I think we're going to get back to some cheesy stuff.
Chud's on the list.
But anyway,
early in the year, it's coming.
Yeah, but also anybody out there, let's start commenting, please. Tell us what you guys want to see. Tell us what you think about stuff. Comment underneath, and please hit the like button underneath our videos. It means a lot. It makes you go up and, whatever. It just helps.
Gives us money.
Well, I don't even care about that.
I do.
Stop putting the commercials pretty much in front of it.
No commercials. We gotta have commercials. Commercial breaks.
But anyways,
put some commercials.
Please
for comment in there.
Comment. Anybody who's listening, comment, please. Tell us what you think, man, and hit that like. Subscribe if you're listening. If you're listening to us on iTunes, and I'm going to do this just because I think I'm trying to pull everybody in from iTunes, well, from Stitcher, TuneIn, all these other places that I got the show at. I'm trying to pull them all into iTunes or YouTube. And that's what I want to focus in on. So anybody watching on YouTube, if it's too long of a commentary or a show for you, subscribe to us in iTunes, and you could listen to us at nighttime in bed before you go to sleep, on your way to work, like Spooky Astronauts does. Emma, check out her channel.
What she does? She
Spooky
listens to us on the way to work?
Yeah. Well, she loves my paranormal. She did a whole video this past week on me. I felt so great, man. I'm like going, this is some love. Yeah,
well, you're that kind of guy,
the paranormal Into the Night. She's kind of hooked on that, and I interviewed her for the show. And
you should interview me. I've experienced lots of paranormal things. Like one time,
we will.
I dropped my keys. Still don't know what happened to them. Had to get a new set. Gone. They fell through some kind of pit
portal
in the earth. A portal. Whatever.
Just...
Gone, man. Gone. Huh. That's paranormal. Interview me.
I will.
Do a show all on me. My thoughts about things.
Get over here.
I think a lot of people would find my opinion on things very interesting, whether I know what's going on or not.
No,
I've got an opinion on everything, whether I know the facts or, know anything about the issue. I got an opinion.
You told me that water really isn't made of H2O.
No, it's not.
But we'll get to that. So yeah,
it's a lie.
If you're listening to us on iTunes and you want to watch us, pop on over to YouTube.
Chemistry's all a lie.
And
why is it
and watch us? But anyway,
why can you CHEESE is cheese, but CHEMISTRY is chemistry? Shouldn't it be chemistry? Chemicals.
It should be.
Chemistry.
Well, the English.
That's what we have. We have chemistry.
Yes, the English language is pretty messed up.
Last
to begin
time
with.
I checked, I was speaking the English language.
And thanks for everybody who watched Salem's Lot. That was awesome.
I didn't even watch it.
I can't believe we got over 2,000 views on that prior movie.
But like 6 comments.
But that's why I'm saying, please comment.
You all
man.
are doing something.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on.
Anyways, King Kong, man. This pretty much helped not bankrupt RKO Studios.
Right.
One of my favorite studios from back in the day. You got Charlie Chan. I know you guys are like, what?
Ooh,
They're like, what are you talking
he's
about?
a Chinese
man?
detective.
RKO Studios.
You always say Confucius say. Confucius say.
RKO Studios popped out a lot of that B level. Although
Wasn't Charlie Chan the inspiration for fortune cookies? The little message.
Oh yes,
Confucius.
No.
Because I got
It was
the
way
weirdest
before
one
that. Yeah.
the other day.
Okay.
I opened it up, and it said,
We'll get to King Kong.
Man who go to bed with itchy butt, wake up with smelly finger."
Yeah.
And
That sounds about right.
I mean, like Confucius say, "Man who go to bed with itchy butt, wake up with smelly finger."
Confucius was a very intelligent guy.
Well, he knew about itchy butts.
Well,
They didn't have soap or loofahs or.
Well, there's a book, an old ancient Chinese book on him, and talks about his itchy butt. And he had warts.
Well, when these things start rubbing together, it's.
That's why he had all this time to sit down. They burned him off with pokers, hot pokers.
God, poor guy.
And
I guess I'd get philosophical too.
Yeah, so I mean, when the poop came out, it rubbed off the scabs and took about a year to heal over. Took about a year to heal over.
Man, you know a lot.
Read the book.
Read the book, damn it.
Confucius scabs. No. And speaking of that, we got an actual Chinese guy on the ship in here.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day,
he actually Chinese?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you don't think so?
I don't know if he is or not. I don't see anybody's name in the credits. It's Wang or Chang or Lee.
Well, he came over and called him named Peter Smith.
Oh, okay, all right.
Now I'm going to have to look, but
Maybe
I'm
I'm going
100.
back to China and never see potato again.
You know what? Him talking made it seem like he was making up his. So he could have came over and just.
He's probably Armenian or something.
You know what? You could be right. Okay, so.
All hand on deck. All hand on deck.
And can I also say this real quick before Ted launches in?
Yeah, before I go into Ted mode.
The most beautiful woman in the world is in this movie. Fay Wray.
Whatever happened to Fay
Wray? She is quintessential, classic, black and white, beautiful. Pre-code, she even doesn't wear a bra, and you see her kind of her breasts and see-through, and this is, and which Ted will tell you,
man.
They got this. They took that out.
You know, the year King Kong came out, she made 11 pictures.
You could tell she probably.
I mean, she made 11 movies that year.
Silence. Oh, really?
Yeah. She started in silence. Yeah.
Oh well, because I was going to say in the King Kong movie,
with the guys who made this,
her
movie.
expression, like with the. But anyways, beautiful. This woman is number one on my list, the most beautiful woman in the world, overall, with this style and her face. She's just so beautiful, and I love these.
I can't say any better myself, man.
I'll stop right there.
Just a
celluloid
angel, man.
Before you go any further, do you love her? Okay, we are going to get into it.
Yeah, I like that you got the overture version here, so I can talk for 4 minutes while it's playing.
There you go.
What can we say about Kong besides that? It's considered one of the greatest movies, but I would argue, man, if you like monsters, if you like science fiction, action, adventure, fantasy, this is the greatest movie in the world. For 1933, people might pick on those special effects a little bit.
Oh, please.
But when we talk about how this was made, when as the movie goes on, it's even my wife was sitting there watching some of the making of with me yesterday. I was watching some of the extras and things like that, and she's never actually watched King Kong, and she still hasn't seen it.
She hasn't seen King Kong.
No. But, so why is this my favorite movie? Let me get into that. Why is it my favorite movie?
Yes, please tell.
Because, when I was a kid, I probably would have said something like Star Wars. That probably impacted me the most. But as I've gotten older and gotten into films and filmmakers, and I've kind of
novels.
Now that I'm over 40 and I've kind of narrowed down what I like, and that's kind of just what I like, and everything else is just pig swill.
You've become a smarter viewer.
I've become a real snob. And I guess I just realized that without this film, all those other movies that I like never would have happened. You have the special effects of Willis O'Brien, who was kind of like the inventor, pioneer of this type of stop motion animation that up until the early 90s was pretty much how they made, until like Jurassic Park, how they made realistic looking monsters in movies.
Yeah.
Practical effects, puppets, stop motion, things like that. We've done plenty of movies in the 80s that have that in there.
Right.
Puppet Master, what did we do? The Gate.
Plenty of, I can't think.
Anything like that. So,
and you know what? Stop motion is so basic. I mean,
it's almost it's otherworldly when you see it.
Yeah.
There's a sense of creepiness to it that isn't in movies anymore. It's not all fluid. It's fantastical.
Yeah.
It gives it just
fans of
it's
stop motion know
otherworldly.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Without Willis O'Brien, you don't get Ray Harryhausen. Ray Harryhausen is pretty much the most well-known name in stop motion animation. If you like, your old monster movies, Mysterious Island, Jason the Argonauts, Sinbad, those kinds of movies. If you don't have Ray Harryhausen, he didn't, then a whole generation of filmmakers and special effects artists don't get inspired
and he made
to form a company called Industrial Light and Magic and work on the special effects of a movie in 1977 called Star Wars. Because they didn't have that to get inspired by. And trust me, all those guys that worked on special effects on Star Wars loved Ray Harryhausen. So did George Lucas. I mean, you would say that name, the average person didn't know who that was. Yeah. But if you were into those special effects and read those monster movie magazines in the 60s and 70s, you knew who he was. And then if you don't get Star Wars, I mean, you basically don't get Industrial Light and Magic, you don't get Pixar, you don't get, LucasArts, you don't get a whole slew of movies that you guys probably love right now. And, all your big blockbusters and your special effects and your Matrix and your, any science fiction movie that's got incredible effects. You don't, Interstellar, you don't get those movies.
Well, but we would have got some kind of special effects would have come. But right.
They just wouldn't have been inspired to push that envelope and create.
Right. Yeah.
And I think movies would be very different now without King Kong. And I think anybody who got into special effects or creature movies and like that did so because of this movie. I mean, because this is the movie. This is the action-adventure movie.
Of all time.
I mean, I think so. It's got everything. It's got
it's beauty.
Thrills. It's got it's got a love story.
Those got a love story.
All right. You could say it's even a twofold love story. The Kong and Ann Darrow and Jack Driscoll and Ann Darrow. It's got action, it's got adventure, it's got mystery, it's got laughs. Everything you could possibly want in a movie. It's got dinosaurs.
Oh.
It's got monsters, it's got natives.
Love King. Yeah.
It's got violence.
Bala.
It's pre-code.
Bala Kong.
Pre-code, so some of the violence is kind of intense for 1933.
Yes.
And it's got
gotta love the
compared to
movies.
Today's acting is just different. You have to remember in the 30s, those actors were coming from silence. They were coming from stage acting. Acting was just different. But compared to the type of acting that was going on at that time, just as good or better.
I thought the acting in this movie alone was top notch by everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't a gigantic cast, but the cast that was there, the main characters, Fay Ray and who's the guy? Robert Armstrong, who plays
Bruce
Carl
Cabot.
Denham. Bruce
Cabot, this was like his first starring role. He was a waiter.
Yeah.
He just happened to, someone suggested he audition, and he got a part.
And he went on to play many, many movies for many, many years. So, yeah.
And I guess the other reason why this movie has a special place for me is just because this is another one of those instances where when I was growing up, and you probably remember, when was this movie always on TV? Thanksgiving Day. It was always WUAB, Channel 43. You had King Kong, Son of Kong, and Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah.
And
Overture.
I remember, I'd be at my, my grandparents on my mother's side, and, everybody would kind of take a turn coming into the living room and sitting watching a little bit of King Kong with me. Maybe one of my aunts or uncles that were near my own age would, kind of F around with me a little bit and pretend to change the channel and make me cry or something like that. But,
mine was Ricky Tikki Taffy was always on at Thanksgiving.
The cartoon one?
Yeah,
I remember that.
Every Thanksgiving. King Kong.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was always on first, like maybe like 11 or 12 it was on. So I always got to watch King Kong, and I usually got to watch all of Son of Kong, but I will admit, it was ages before I ever saw How Mighty Joe Young ended. Because I just never got
Isn't that a shame, man?
It was.
If you missed it back in the
movie.
day, when it was only TV,
and it was only on Thanksgiving. It was never on any other time. Kind of like how Wizard of Oz was always on around Easter time.
Yeah.
And it's like if you missed it, you had to wait another year to see King Kong. There was no VCRs when I was a kid.
Right.
There was cable was just starting, and they didn't show those kinds of movies really.
Yeah.
So that's, another thing about, it's just a special memory being a kid and, being over my grandparents who are both passed away now on Thanksgiving and just kind of remembering everybody coming in and go, oh, okay, I'm going to go sit with Teddy for a little bit and watch King Kong. Because everybody was always talking and cooking. They put me in front of the TV, because I was the only kid at the time, keep Teddy quiet. And, he'll watch King Kong and shut the hell up.
We had a brood. 7 of
I was
me,
the only kid.
13 and my grandmother, and then all the aunts and uncles. So
until my sister, I was the only kid.
It was a gigantic gathering, which we gathered around all of the movies.
So that was it, But I just, as I've gotten older, I just see this movie. It's just it encapsulates everything that I really love in movies. I know we do a horror show. And this is technically a monster movie. It's considered, I think, if you give any credence to Rotten Tomatoes, they rate it as, the #1 monster movie of all time.
Oh, yeah.
But
sure.
It's, it led me to other, like Edgar Rice Burroughs novels. 1924, he wrote The Land That Time Forgot, which is about some sailors that, find an undiscovered continent, and it's loaded with cavemen and dinosaurs and flying winged men in the later books. And it's just things that make your imagination take off.
Love it,
and then, you get a film like this that just has everything that I love. And, who wouldn't want to go on the venture and go sailing off to Skull Island somewhere? And, forget the sequels, forget the remakes. It's, I'm not even remote.
Island.
I know there's a new one coming out. I'm not even remotely interested in it.
No.
And,
you talk King Kong, you're talking 1933 King Kong.
This is just so good. And
why do you think they try to keep remaking?
I'll catch up.
Do you think we would have ever got Godzilla without King Kong?
We may have just only. You
think the Japanese were looking at the KingOng and said, "Oh, we make a monster of our own."
No, you're probably right.
You're make probably a big old monster of our own.
They had a bomb dropped on them, and Godzilla is kind of a metaphor for all that. Right. But so maybe we would have got some variation of it anyway, because that really effed with them for a long time, having an atomic bomb dropped on you. But the film starts in New York City.
Yeah. The gas bombs there.
A theater agent's walking around looking for a guy named Carl Denham. Yes. And who's Carl Denham? He's a adventurer. He's a filmmaker. He's known for going out in the jungles and getting that camera right in the face of a wild animal and getting it on camera and putting it on the screen for people. And they love these movies that he makes. Mm-hmm. He captures real life. And he's about to go on a...
I should go sit over there. I feel like part of the audience.
Yeah.
Ted is schooling us on King Kong.
He's, he's just, he's the kind of guy that brings that dangerous, that jungle to the audience to see, kind of like real life. And he is actually based on the creator and co-director of this film, Marion C. Cooper, who, we'll flash a picture of him up there for you. He's the guy that came up with the story. And this guy lived and breathed. His life was like Indiana Jones almost. He
Ted's making my editing harder by popping in these names.
He rode to capture Pancho Villa. He was a World War I fighter pilot, bomber, and fighter pilot. Was crashed.
What do you say? His hands even got
he got burned.
And
His co-pilot got shot in the throat. And his hand, the engine took on hits, and all the flames coming up burned his hands, and they were scarred the rest of his life.
Yeah,
and
he had to land it with. He
landed the plane with his arms and his knees. He landed the damn plane. Then was captured by the Germans and held in a German prisoner of war camp till the end of the war.
Burnt them.
And then he stayed behind. Stayed behind to help liberate Poland from the Bolsheviks. He and a handful of other American pilots that really believed in the cause, and was then captured by the Russians. And the only reason he wasn't executed, because he would have been executed as an American fighter pilot, was because his hands were so burnt they thought he was a peasant. And so they didn't take him as a pilot with hands like terrible. That. And he eventually escaped the Russian prison camp, made his way back to the States. And during the war, he had met a friend, an acquaintance, Ernest Schoedestack. And we'll show his picture up there. And it's kind of funny to look at the two of them because Marion C. Cooper was a little short, stocky guy, and Schoedestack was like 6'4". He's just this giant. It's kind of funny to look at the two of them together. But and Schoedestack during the war was a like a newsreel. He took newsreels of the battle. He'd be in the battles taking movie footage of the battles.
Carl Denham in this movie plays.
Right.
The adventurer who actually puts the camera right in front of the natives. And
So a little bit of these characters comes from real life, and that's because Ernest Schoedstack's wife, Ruth Rose, who you saw her name in the credits, she wrote the screenplay without really any experience, and she based these characters on her husband, Schoedstack, and Marion C. Cooper, and she was part of their group. They actually went out and made those kind of jungle documentaries and went out into the mountains of Nepal and in Africa and would find tribes and things like that. They just looked for adventure. They looked for stories, human life stories out in the jungle and out where no one had ever been. And they got Marion C. Cooper got this idea for this guerrilla picture.
Yeah.
And what he had originally wanted to do was make a film, like make a miniature set and have a gorilla actually fight a Komodo dragon to the death. I mean, just have them fight and film it and make that part of the story. If that had happened, that probably would have been a banned film.
Well, yeah.
And we never would have King Kong.
No.
I mean, so...
I think it evolved into wanting to have... the image that came to mind was having the gorilla on top of the Empire State Building.
He had a vision of that, yes.
Then they kind of backwards storied it all the way to the beginning.
Just had a dream of that. And
I know we got to catch up here, because here we go, Fay Ray.
Fay Ray.
Look at the beauty of that face.
The theater agent who came to visit Carl Denham tells him his job is supposed to be to find him a girl, an actress to go on this adventure. He basically tells him, no actress is going to go with you on this.
Right.
You're not telling anybody where you're going, how long you're going to be gone, what they're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. So basically, Carl Denham just says, hell with you guys, I'm going to go find a girl myself. And I love what he says.
Exactly.
He's like, I'll find her if I have to marry her. And he's talking about this picture he's going to make. It's going to be great. Even the captain doesn't know where they're going.
Yeah, nobody knows what's going on.
And Jack Driscoll. And I love when he gets ready, he's like, they're going to have to come up with a bunch of new adjectives when we get back. I mean, he's a enthusiastic, rambunctious.
Well, and he learned of this, which we're going to come to find out, Skull Island and Kong, and where this is. Somebody gave him, which we'll find out. But
so he's on the hunt for a girl.
Yeah.
He goes to the homeless shelters are all kind of homely looking. He's looking for a face, and he notices when he goes to a newspaper stand. Fay Ray is there, and you could tell she's about to maybe try to lift an apple and steal it because she's starving, she's hungry, she's got no money, no place to stay. And she just
picks it up, and the guy who owns the stand goes, no, you go, I get to call cop on you. I call cop on you. I mean, she didn't even steal it.
No.
And he goes, technically she didn't.
He gives him take a buck now.
Yeah, Carl Denham. Take it. Oh, and he immediately walks over that buck.
But then he sees that face. He sees that, and
he's like, "Are you kidding?"
Face
he's like, "Are you kidding me? This is who I."
Right.
I had struck a gold mine. He takes her to eat at a diner.
Yeah, taxi. He just grabs her taxi. I'm not letting this chick go. And they're in a little diner here.
And I love how when she's sitting here and stuff, and she goes,
"You like how it's not even like a table? They look like school desks."
Yes.
There's just a little tray right here that you put your food on.
Ted,
it's not even a table.
1933, man.
And remember, this is the Depression. This is, and it's not the beginning of the Depression. It's not the end of the Depression. It's the
Depression.
Smack dab in the middle of the worst part of the
Depression.
Depression.
Which is why you got, I they kind of glimpsed that long homeless shelter line going to eat and get whatever shelter.
Right. So I mean, this was made. This takes place for 1933 in the here and now, or the then and now, and then. Yeah. So people could relate. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, this is what was going on in the world.
But I love how she's in the diner and she goes, you know, she's thanking him and all this other stuff, and he pretty much, Carl Denham pretty much goes, well, that's not the main reason I'm buying you this food.
I'm not doing this just to be nice.
Yeah, you know, and you would take that as oh my God, okay, what do you...
Like these days, you know.
And then he goes, have you ever acted? You know, another cue. You know, this guy's a pervert. He wants to get me on film.
And she almost gets like that. He's like, well, he starts to tell her, we're going to get on a boat. We're going to go and and he's just like, no, it's nothing like that. No monkey business.
And he says his name and she goes, don't you know who I am? And she goes, you're the guy who makes the pictures.
The jungle pictures.
Yeah. So she kind of, goes, okay, I think this is okay. I know what's going on.
Right.
So otherwise,
I got way ahead of myself.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would be like, what's she doing? You're going off with some, I mean, I could see.
He's so enthusiastic. He's like, I'm talking, it's adventure, it's excitement, it's a chance in a lifetime, and I want you to star in it, And it's just, okay.
I think we got time to go buy you some dresses, and you should fit in the wardrobe. So for her, she hit the jackpot, Fay Ray.
Right.
I would have done anything for this woman.
Wouldn't it, man? Wouldn't you? I'd fight a war. I'd write a poem. I'd move a mountain. I'd hone raw energy with my bare hands.
I'd dig a hole in the mountain for 10 years straight.
I'd
just
hold
to
a
come back
spider
home.
in my hand.
Biggest fear. Oh, here we go. This is the Chinese guy. I know we got to catch up here.
Oh, but I do like the part before when she's on the boat and she's
that guy's Chinese, right?
I guess he is.
I mean...
I love when he's peeling the potatoes. Someday soon, me go back to China and never peel potato again.
Because, she asked him or something like that. Yeah. And she's standing here in this dress, and this is pre-code. I mean, she's not wearing no bra or nothing.
There's a few scenes where, the dresses she's wearing are very sheer.
And you see, everything.
You can see the outline of her figure.
Yeah, there you go.
And this film was going to be notorious for being cut later on. Well, as those scenes come up, I'll point them out.
Yeah.
But I love the scene before this when she comes up on, they're getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
And you could just tell first mate Jack Driscoll, he's just like, you're a woman, you're already a nuisance.
John Driscoll.
Well, they call him Jack. But,
do they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Who am I to question you?
They call him Jack Driscoll.
Okay.
But yes, his name is John. And I like when he's yelling at the guys, he turns, he doesn't even know she's there and belts her in the chin.
Yeah.
But he's like...
He goes, get down below deck. And she goes...
And she goes, whole voyage?
The whole voyage?
You're like, oh, no, just get out of here.
He goes, I'm sorry, I didn't even apologize.
But it was considered bad luck, to have a woman on the...
Well, I mean, come on. A big ship of guys and one woman on there, I mean... you're out to sea.
It's distracting.
Yes,
to say the least.
To say the least.
And then I like later on when they're sitting there, he's after she's talking to Charlie, the cook, and he's over there talking to her. You could tell he likes her. He's making small talk, but he's being all, she's like, well, I haven't been any trouble. He's like, you're in trouble just being here. Your very presence is just a damn nuisance.
So terrible.
And she's mentioning how...
You're making her feel so bad.
I know.
But,
But I don't think she's buying his BS either at
the
same time.
I think she knows.
And like she says, we're going to do some tests later. Mr. Denham's going to have me put on some dresses and see how, which side of my face is best. I like how he's like, well, they both look all right to me.
Like, is there really a bad side?
Yeah, no.
And here's a little shout thing here
look
going.
At that. Yeah, is that a hint of things to come?
Yeah, he only likes me. I forget the name of the little monkey in here, but
I think Izzy.
Yeah,
Izzy.
okay.
And she's like, everyone likes me. I bet Captain Englehart, isn't he a sweet old lamb? He's like, and I love him. He's
the ship's
like,
captain.
I'd like him to hear me say that.
Yeah, because you got to be manly to be on a ship.
But see, these guys are still sailing, and they still don't know where they're going. Denham's keeping this all hush-hush. And they really had to be out by the morning, because you were mentioning the bombs before.
Yes.
Denham's got a lot of explosives and a lot of weapons on this ship.
Yeah.
And if they're not out of here by morning, there's a possibility that the port marshal might inspect the boat before they leave, because they want to leave under cover of darkness, like right when the sun's getting ready to come up. And they would not be permitted to leave with all that firepower on the boat.
Bala, go.
So we're gonna find out here. You could tell Driscoll's already looking out for Ann Darrow. He's, what's going on? We can't be taking her.
Oh yeah, as soon as she leaves, he gets in defense mode. Oh, protecting her. So
right. Well, I mean, she has no idea. I mean, Driscoll and Captain Englehorn have sailed with Denham a couple of times. That's established already.
So they know kind of what he gets.
Right, and it's like now all of a sudden you want to bring a girl into the picture. And Denham's he's reluctantly doing this too. He's like, every time I make a picture, they say, oh, if it had love interest, it would gross twice as much. Well, fine. I'm going to give them a girl, and I'm going to give them what they want.
Yeah.
And he's had this brewing for a couple of years. They finally have reached a certain coordinates where, Carl said he will tell the captain where they're going now.
Yeah, and brings out those maps and everything, and they say it was from
a Norwegian. Basically, he tells the story of a ship that picks up a lone survivor from a Norwegian ship, and he tells the story of this island, and that's not on any of the charts, but he does give a pretty good idea of where that island is, and they make a makeshift map, and Carl Denham has acquired this map. I forget where he said where he got it, but I should remember.
I know. I can't remember either.
But somewhere. He got it a couple years ago somewhere, he got it in Casablanca somewhere. I don't know. But, something like that, I'm trying to think. What's the name of that? Damn it. Doesn't matter. But
Little Debbie's Donut Shop.
Maybe.
He found it on the seat. Yeah.
But he shows you the map how it's a...
right here, you're coming to the reef.
Oh yeah, because you can only get through the small area of the reef. Right. You're gonna go aground, and he shows how there's the sandy peninsula where all the natives live, and he points out there's a wall, and he's like, that wall's been there so long that even the natives don't know who built it.
Don't you like how he says, I think the Egyptians built it?
Oh yeah, later on, it almost looks Egyptian.
Yeah, it's just some giant wooden.
It's just a wooden wall.
Looks nothing like Egyptian. I don't. That's the only thing they could think of back then.
The wall that's actually in this movie was borrowed from Cecil B. DeMille's Silent King of Kings. It's this, they just reused the wall, man.
They put Skull Mountain right above it. Yeah.
And they mentioned that the natives keep that wall in repair religiously because they need it, and they go because there's something on the other side.
And like most tribes, in these, they got to worship the gods and sacrifice, But this they're sacrificing to the monster, King Kong.
And this was the scene that I always in the commercials when it was going to be on. It always had, Carl Denham putting his hands in his pocket. Have you ever heard of Kong? It was always in the commercial.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And the captain's like, some kind of native god or something like that, isn't it? He's like, well, that's what we're going after. And
he walks away.
Yep.
Leaves them hanging.
Yep.
And they're like,
so now they know where they're going.
Plumb nuts.
Oh, look at this dress. I love this dress.
Oh.
I love flowy, billowy.
Okay, since we're talking though, we got people listen to audio tons, so
there it is. You can see her figure under there, and I'm not even trying to be a pervert. She's just
I'm not being a pervert either. I mean, we have been in the past.
I mean, I could
pervert it over some of these girls, but no, this is just. I'm in awe of just the pure beauty of her. I
couldn't even look at her if I saw her in person. Like, you're just too bright.
No, I'm looking at her.
You're looking?
Oh, and I
feel like, I might do like a Raiders of the Lost Ark thing. My face will melt.
They need security guards to take me away.
You better bring the biggest, blackest security guards you got.
Look at her right there. That... Look at the guys up on the plug, looking down at her.
Charlie, man, they're climbing up on the smokestacks watching.
Like, they take picture girl.
Well, maybe they take picture of me.
Yeah, she came up in her dress and she's getting ready to get the pictures that he said he was going to do. The shots and starts telling her basically, she asked him, why isn't there, or do you do this yourself? Is there a camera guy?
Yeah.
And he basically goes, there used to be, but I do it now.
Right. He's like, yeah, the guy, the rhino was coming at him. He's like, he ran. He thought I had the rifle.
I was ready. I would have got him before he got to me.
I do it myself.
Yep.
And that is Marion C. Cooper. That's
right.
him. Because they'll show footage. Like, if you watch some of the movies they did, some of these silent movies like Grass and there's another one called Gao, the bow hunter, or something like that.
Ugh.
I mean, the tigers are jumping around. They didn't have special long lenses.
Mm-hmm.
When they show that tiger getting him in the face, he's getting up in his face.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's giving Fay Ray like a little screen test. Nothing special really going on here. We just get to kind of watch her for.
And I tell you, for I mean, look at the acting right there on her face and everything. I mean, first of all, real silent era acting right there.
Yep,
I mean,
and she's
real
from the silent era.
Yeah,
absolutely.
the real facial, but. Great acting, and she's like, he picked her up, and he's got to be going.
The first scream queen.
The
first scream queen. That she did all her own screams.
Yes.
She like went into the studio. They recorded a bunch of her screams, and they called it the aria of agony.
Her scream is she'd win. Scream Queens, that's on now on MTV or something. She'd win, believe me.
And she was a natural brunette. And it was her idea to do the blonde wig because it's in stark contrast of Kong.
All white, and, blonde hair, flowing.
And they also did double duty
as opposed
on this
to
film.
the tribals who were
all. You know
all
about that?
What?
The double duty they did on this film. The same two producer, Marion C. Cooper, they also did another movie called The Most Dangerous Game, which has Fay Ray and Robert Armstrong in it as well. And they would do Kong during the day. They would do Most Dangerous Game at night. They were filming two movies back to back using the same jungle sets.
Oh.
Like the famous log from King Kong, that's in Most Dangerous Game too. They crossed the same log.
What kind of movie was Most Dangerous Game?
It's about
just like an adventure type movie.
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's about it's a classic story. You never saw it, really?
I'm trying to think. I remember the name.
It's about.
I bet you if
it's about a hunter who lives on an isolated island, and he purposely makes it so ships will crash there. Will shipwreck there, and the most dangerous game is man. He hunts. He's hunted everything else in the world, and
holy crap!
And he hunts people.
How did I miss this? Okay, I know the name. I just don't think I ever got to watching it.
And Robert Armstrong plays like a drunk in it. He's hilarious in it. Totally different than the character he plays here. And again, he's writing.
I'm writing it down.
Absolutely.
A dangerous game.
The most dangerous. You can probably watch it on YouTube for free.
The Most Dangerous Game. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I don't know how. Yeah, Fay Ray.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you another thing. Since we're talking about the scream and all that, well, here we finally get. We got to catch up.
And look at that great shot of the island. You see the wall. You see the Skull Mountain way in the back.
Yeah.
Birds flying by.
Earlier in the night, the ship approaches and they said, we're at the coordinates we're at. But thick fog everywhere. You couldn't...
It's like pea soup.
Yeah, and didn't they hear the drums at that point?
They hear the drums going.
But they can't see nothing. But morning comes, everything clears out, and like you said, you see the island, the big wall, the Skull Island, big birds flying. It's,
kind of debating, I wonder if the natives even know that we're here yet.
Yeah, because they don't see anybody on the beach.
Yeah, you would think they'd be scoping it out.
Right. And they don't.
And they're going to go ashore. They're going to take about a dozen men, take the bombs, they're going to take the camera, and they're going to take Ann. And I like how Jack's like, why we shouldn't take her till we know what's going on.
And why does he say that? Because I like to have all of my crew...
my cast and my camera ready.
Exactly, because that's... So some of the best filming is right when oh my God, I wish I had my camera.
Yep.
There you go.
And she's all eager to go. She's like, I want to go.
Oh, well, she don't know.
It's an adventure. Who wouldn't want to go?
But yeah, the white woman coming to that island after we get to know the tribesmen.
The golden-haired woman. And
I like how, we'll get to it when they get to the island.
I think, we've got a moment here. It's another thing we've got to really mention in this film, because it's really a first, is Max Steiner did the score for this film. And up until this point, silent movies had music.
Nosferatu? Oh, Max Schreiner.
Not Max Schreiner. That was Max Schreck.
I know.
But Max Steiner, who was a famous movie composer for the times. This film really is the first film to have...
Can I just say, how the hell did that island be off the maps and the radar with people in this area? But anyways, look how big it is.
Well, because it's in waters where there's nothing else.
Yeah,
this is a very isolated place.
Okay.
But back to the, all the movies had music, but it was just like, it was box music, it was stuff that the studio just had in the back, they hired Max Steiner to compose a score to complement the movie. Now, this is all commonplace now. And we're going to get to a scene here during when the tribespeople are doing their ritual for Kong, even like when the witch doctor is walking down the steps, you hear that do. It's all coordinated with his steps.
Yes.
First time that was ever done in a movie like that. Where that's commonplace now. You watch it, and the music goes hand in hand with the images on the screen.
Yeah.
This is the first movie that had that happen.
Wow.
It was done.
I did not know that.
It was specifically done for that.
Okay.
It has themes. Kong has his own 3-note theme. Ann Darrow's got her own little theme, and it takes on different variations depending on what's going on in the film. And it's the first movie to have that, where the music is there to enhance the movie, to bring more emotion to the image, which is what we expect of a film score now. But just it's kind of interesting to point out that this is the first film where that was ever done.
And man, I'll tell you, we'll just go. I mean, the love.
Like imagine Star Wars without the music.
Oh jeez, I know. Yeah.
You know, and that's actually a true story. He showed it. Lucas showed it to executives. They didn't like it. He put John Williams' score in it. Changed no scenes. Played it for him. Loved it. Whatever you did in the movie was great. The music.
Oh yeah,
and again this, and you can listen. I have the soundtrack to this at home. Listen to it all the time. It's just awesome music. Wow. So first movie that had a dedicated score that was made and sound effects. There was no sound effects library. You know, this was the first time of doing that too, making sound effects for these creatures. One of my favorite parts of the film coming up.
Well, real quick, the sound of King Kong was a lion and a tiger put together and played in reverse at a slower speed.
Yeah, I think they left one animal go forward, one animal go backward, and slowed it down. And you got some weird otherworldly growl, you know. Yeah,
it was really interesting. But yeah, this scene here,
I love it. And hear the music here. Kong. You know, I love how they're dressed in the gorilla outfits.
Really long arms, like King Kong. I mean,
and they're watching this through the reeds, you know, looking through because the village is deserted. They walk through the village on the way there, following the sounds. And they're getting the sacrifice, the sacrificial virgin ready, dressing her with flowers.
And you can tell it's a younger girl too. And, I mean, you know.
And who knows how often they do this? They don't tell you that.
No.
I mean, this might be every month or something like that. You know, every full moon or something like that. They might be doing this.
Yeah, who knows how often? But they just so happen to be there when they're doing this ritual, and they're. You know, Driscoll's not Driscoll, but
Denham.
Carl Denham's like, you know, oh, we got to get this filmed, get out the camera. You know, so he brings the camera right in the open, you know, like they're not going to last
long. He doesn't even get to start cranking it before.
Well, I mean,
they
come
realize
on,
it's there.
Carl Denham, come on. But he wanted to get it.
Man, he's so intense looking. Look at that guy.
Oh yeah, that face is scary, man.
Yep, he sees him. And
he looks like the same, actually. Looks like I wonder if they used him in some of the Three Stooges.
I don't know, but his name's in the credits. I can't remember his name. But he's like in the top build of the credits. You know, Fay Ray. He's on that list.
Okay.
On that first page of actors.
Well, he's a big character in this movie. I mean, you will remember him.
Oh yeah.
Just because of the way he looks, and he goes Bala.
Yeah.
Bala. Balakong.
Good thing. The skipper knows what he's saying. And but here's what I'm talking about when he's going down these steps. If you're listening to the film, the music, the beats are boom, 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 matched up with his steps. First time it was ever done in a movie. Doesn't seem like a big deal really now, but you know, subconsciously when people were watching this. You know, no one was sitting there in the audience going, "Hey, they never did that in a movie before." It's all subconscious. You hear?
Well, yeah, you don't realize. You just know, wow, this is a great.
And the images and the music and the feelings all get into your head.
And you even hear a doorbell ring, and they did take it out in the newer cut. But anyways,
yeah. So he's like, "Skipper, go make nice talk with him."
Yeah, and it's a good thing that
how
now,
Bala.
bro,
Bala.
Cow. Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. That's the word for friend. I thought it was Kemosabe, but
it's a good thing that the skipper knows to talk, you know, their language.
Yeah, I guess all these, you know.
So they're not that isolated. They must have the same type of language from the other islands in the area.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're similar. Just kind of
close enough.
Kind of like Eastern Europeans and Russian and Ukrainian and Polish and all those. I mean, don't tell them that their language sounds like another language, but there's a lot. Just like, you know, Italian and Spanish, you know, there's so many things that, you know.
No, I hear you.
Sound the same.
Yeah.
But basically the natives are saying, you know, you've ruined our ceremony. were pretty ticked off.
And the girl that was up there that was going to be sacrificed is going, whoo!
Oh God, yeah,
Son of a bitch!
Oh man,
I made it,
but
just by the hair of my skin.
They see Ann,
Yes.
the golden-haired woman.
Yes.
And they wanting some of that for the sacrifice. Ellie Carr's like, "What's the word for friend, Skipper?" Bala. He's like, Bala. Like him coming out there is gonna do anything.
Yeah, Carl done.
But yeah, he's telling everybody, be cool, just be cool. And I would be cool too. It's like, we got guns.
I would have.
They got pointed sticks.
I would have hit Ann before the minute they saw us. I would say, Ann, get behind me.
Yeah,
come on. But anyway.
Yeah, because they see the golden-haired woman, they're gonna want her.
And they go,
what does he offer? Like 6 of his women for her?
Oh yeah,
I'd give you 6.
And the other ship crew members are going, really?
Really? Let's see them.
They're very Let's see them.
Let's see them first.
Which 6 do you mean? Like the Three Stooges. You're going to marry my 2 daughters, and the 2 beautiful one are there. Then the ugly one comes around. And they go, what? Curly go, ooh.
But Skipper's got to tell him, thanks, but no thanks, and we're gonna be on our way. That was so long.
Well, I'm capping it.
So, woo!
That's a new thing on the internet.
Look at you, no cream soda.
Oh yeah, no. You know what? I should have brought down a cup.
Oh, you got some?
I got a 2-liter.
It's gonna go flat if you don't chug it.
I know.
You gotta chug. So yeah, slowly they turn. Let's back it up.
Inch by inch.
Yep.
Step by step.
Back it up. Back it up, Mike!
Back it up!
Oh, don't you let me take his hat and...
Yeah, it says, we'll come... And he goes, we'll come back tomorrow when there's all settled down.
Yeah, but I mean, how ballsy, though, just to go there in the first place. I mean, they've interacted with the natives. They've
And I'm surprised
effed up their ritual.
The natives were smart enough to just stay cool.
Yeah.
And, not go after them. They didn't have to, shoot off any gun or nothing like that.
No, if you don't have, better off not to, if you don't have to. Although, maybe if they had, maybe they would have left them alone here in this scene,
Yeah.
So, here's where, they're talking.
Gets a little sentimental.
Jack and Ann. And I like how he finally tells her, he's just like, well, say, I guess I love you.
I know.
I mean, if it was just that simple to say to a girl, man. And then, man, he gets to lay lips on her. He's like, say, you don't feel that way about me, do you?
Right.
And,
And she kind of laying back,
I mean, it's like, well, out of everybody else on this ship, yeah, I you're the best wine, yeah. Oh, but he's a good guy. He's a little salty, but he's a good guy.
You know what? I love this is actually part of what I love about the older films like this. I mean, the interaction between... Oh, look at her face right there. Sorry. So beautiful.
You couldn't let nothing happen to that girl. You couldn't let anything happen.
But these movies back then, this is what I love. I know it sounds funny, the horror channel, but I'm talking about the romance of the early era movies.
It was less complicated.
It was less complicated.
That's what I like
There was just
about
a style to it. They're gonna grab each other and embrace, and it's just this, just this moment, and it's just I don't know. I love it, man.
You're mine and I'm yours, and that's it, man. So uncomplicated, man. Just like
exactly. It's
I dig you, you dig me.
We're gonna live the rest of our life happily ever.
And they pretty much did.
And right here, the skipper calls him, and he turns around and goes, "Yeah, in a minute."
Driscoll, are you on deck? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, get over here, would you?
And he turns his neck with a little smile. I just love it. He goes, "When I'm ready."
Late horror show.
Did you work today?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I went to the zoo.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Duh, okay.
Took the babies to the zoo.
You just told me that, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I let my daughter play hooky today.
Zoo time.
It's
nice
some days I just
here,
feel like Ferris Bueller, except I feel it for my kids. I'm like, it's just too nice of it. Because we had like
when
it's
nice
November,
out,
and it's a 70-degree day. I was just like, it's
Sun's
too nice
out.
to let kids go to school on a day like this, man. It's going to get cold and crappy soon.
Mine went, but
it's
anyways.
too nice.
Okay, yeah. The natives actually get in their little boats and...
They sneak up to the ship.
Yes, and they climb up the side, and they...
Intent on kidnapping Ann.
And they crawl
Lucky she was right there on the edge.
Well, I was going to say that. They came up right where she was standing, so that's a good thing.
Man, I tell you, they're good.
But she does pull at his bone necklace, I'll just say.
Which is going to leave a clue.
Yeah, so
because we're going to get to a few minutes section here where everybody's going to start looking for Ann. Where's Ann? Ann's not here. She's not in her her bunk. She's not down below. She's nowhere. And I think it's
the
Charlie.
Chinese guy. He goes,
yeah.
"Oh, hands at deck! Oh, hands
He
at deck!"
finds the bracelet or necklace, whatever it was, bone necklace, and all hand on deck, all hand on deck.
Yeah, the emergency here. We get go.
Right.
Tribal men come on
and
board.
that's where they discover that she's been taken. Yeah.
He goes, potato soup won't be good for dinner today.
Right. And they hear those drums going during the night.
He goes, we're going to have to put it off for 1 hour. 1 hour.
Oh, maybe make you a fortune cookie.
Get all hands on deck. Skipper, where you at? He says. I mean, he had a lot of lines in this part.
And that's it. That's he made the most of it because that's it for him for the movie. Although he is in Son of Kong. He's in Son of Kong.
Is he?
Yeah, Charlie's in Son of Kong.
Really?
Robert Armstrong.
Okay.
It's such a horror.
It's been a long
movie,
time since I've seen Son of Kong. And Mighty Joe Young's good.
Mighty Joe Young's fantastic.
Yes.
But and that was also Ray Harryhausen's first movie. He did a lot of the animating, even though Willis O'Brien kind of oversaw everything. Willis O'Brien never really got until like 1950. He finally won an Academy Award for his work in films, but his stop motion, was in so many pictures. I think people just didn't really realize who he was. Like, remember when we did Mad World podcast? Remember the part at the end where they're on the ladder going back and forth?
Yeah.
That was stop motion. He did that. Willis O'Brien, he did that animation part for the movie. When towards the end when they're all in that fire escape and the ladder and all that. Yep. Great movie.
Oh, that was.
But
love it.
A young Ray Harryhausen saw this film, and that's what inspired him to go in his garage. And his parents bought him a little movie camera, and he started making his own stop motion films, learning along the way how to make these things, reading what he could, corresponding with Willis O'Brien, and later they met. They became friends. He became his protege, and in many ways, kind of surpassed what Willis O'Brien did.
Wow.
Even going so far as Willis O'Brien had so many ideas for stories and projects, and most of the time they would get canned at the end. And he had one called Guanji that he really wanted to do about dinosaurs and cowboys. Yeah. And in the late, 68, 69, Ray Harryhausen, they made the film Valley of Guanji with James Franciscus, if you remember him. And it's about cowboys and dinosaurs. And it's a cool-ass movie, and it needs to be on Blu-ray immediately. And Warner Brothers, if you're listening, please.
Oh, it's terrible.
But,
the movies that, there's so many movies out there that most people haven't seen. I like here where Charlie wants to go. He's got
his hatchet.
He's got his,
or what is it?
Meat cleaver.
Yeah, his cleaver. He's ready to get some.
He goes, I go too? And they tell him, no, you stay in the ship.
Yeah.
So
somebody got to cook.
Yeah.
And all the men are, they rally like nothing. Like, we got to get her back. You can't let this happen.
like that. I mean, these guys, man, they're protecting Fay Ray. And like I said.
You can't do that, man. You can't leave her to these people. These savages. And, I got to go out and say something to you. I mean, your copy here is really good, too. But I have the Blu-ray, and I can tell yours is ripped from the Blu-ray here. They found just a pristine copy in England. When they restored this film, and there's not a blemish. I mean, there's grain aplenty, which is to be expected, but all the cut scenes were in this copy.
Yeah.
They didn't have to use like 16 millimeter and put it into 35 millimeter, and you see that, degradation of quality.
Yeah.
It had all the cut scenes that had been cut out from the censors throughout the years that will be coming up as the movie progresses. And I tell you what, when I just watched it today, I mean, I've watched my Blu-ray a bunch of times, but just how good it looks there's not a blemish, not a scratch.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that they were able to do what they could do, because this is just, it's so hard. These movies weren't made to be preserved. Nobody ever thought, hey,
meant to make money, put
70
it in
years
storage.
from now, people are going to want to watch this. Nobody thought that back then. Very few people did.
Right.
Isn't
that funny? Yeah.
There's a handful of people that had foresight. Like, think like if you're a soap opera fan. You'll never be able to watch the whole series or whatever.
Oh, no. Yeah.
The only person that had the foresight was Dan Curtis when he did Dark Shadows. He saved every episode. Instead of wiping the videotape, he saved it. And they used a fresh videotape every day. And there's only one episode that's missing. That's it. You know, they have the audio for it, but not the video.
That's what I hate about a lot of that stuff. I mean, even like one of my favorite shows, Carol Burnett's show. From
So many of them are gone.
They put the best, so many of them, but there's like 5 seasons I haven't even seen an episode of because they're not out.
Or they're gone.
Or they're gone.
Video. They were done on video.
It's like, come on, man.
It's degraded. Videotape doesn't last that long. So,
So terrible, though. So pathetic.
So if you're a fan of some things, like I said, you should support it when they do like a big restoration of some of these old films like Kong or like Dark Shadows. When they put that big coffin box set out, I saved up my nickels and dimes and I bought that big coffin set because I'm just thankful to have, all of it.
Yeah.
Who would have thought hey, let's save every episode of this soap opera that's on every day. Let's make sure we put this movie about this giant monkey in a nice place so that the film doesn't, turn to dust.
Luckily, some of the people stored theirs away and it stayed, just like we find in our attics and basements nowadays. Stuff from the early years and stuff. But
just what a great pristine copy of this is. So what we've talked over is the natives doing the same thing to Ann Darrow that they were doing to their own lady before, getting her all dressed with the flowers. They drag her through. They open up the giant doors in the wall, the giant wooden doors, and they take her out there and they put her on the altar with her hands like this.
Scene,
and
they twist this big wooden
to keep her nice and taut there.
Yeah,
and then
which is going to be cool later when Kong comes.
I don't think I ever noticed what he did there.
Really? Yeah, I noticed.
Every time I watch the movie, I see something new. And I thought he just kind of pulled her and broke the ropes, but he actually undoes it.
Yeah, so they must. I mean, over time, how many times they've done this, he must have figured out how to twist that.
He's smart.
Yeah.
Then all the natives go on top of the wall and they bang the gong, and somehow Kong hears that gong.
The big chief goes Bala.
Yeah, whatever. Kong. But that gong, that's heard across the island.
The gong for Kong.
The gong show. And that gets Kong coming. We hear him coming.
Oh, yeah. So they quiet down.
And it's like 47 minutes into the movie before you ever actually even see Kong.
Yeah, that's true. But once you do, I'll tell you what, man. Non-stop. You see King Kong.
Much, yeah.
King Kong, the dinosaurs, the stop motion is non-stop from this point forward.
Absolutely.
And
action.
The love they put into this is just, the time,
the facial expressions,
everything is just so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of how long it takes to do stop motion.
Well, they said, to do like, a minute of footage, could take, See, the thing of it is, when they did this, they were making it up as there he is. Look at him
Kong
ripping through the foliage.
Yes, and she just freaks. And she still even looks beautiful there, but there's that classic
the larger
face
model
that comes up to you.
Teeth.
Oh my god!
But even just look. You take it for granted now, but look how there's the stop motion in the background, and then there's the live action over to the side.
Yeah,
they integrated it together. Mm-hmm. This was the first film that used an optical printer, which would be used forever, still used.
Yeah,
and it was a way to take the stop motion footage, the live action footage, and print it all on one strip of film and not lose as much quality.
I hate Fay Ray screaming like that.
Oh, I know. I just want to help her.
But here he goes. He's going to twist.
You're right. Yeah,
he's going to come up here.
I saw that today, and I'm like, that's cool. I don't think I ever noticed that he. Yeah, right there when he twists the little knob. I guess I just never paid attention. That's what he was doing.
It's funny how they did that too. Even all the care and. They could have skipped that, and
yes.
They didn't,
The only thing they skip in this movie that I know the other two versions have always shown is when they do finally gas bomb and knock him out, it just goes right to, he's in New York. They don't show the transportation of him,
right?
Which they do in the other films. But it's like, I like that.
Well, I think
it's a way to bypass a problem,
right?
And you don't need to see it anyway,
right? Because I think that would have been an issue. I could see them all toying over how are we going to do this? How are we going to incorporate this into the movie?
There's cooler things that they cut out of this movie as it is.
Because even as big as he is, and think about it, how big is the ship? Where are they going to actually take and put him?
Right.
They talk about rigging up
a raft
and stuff like that, and tying him to it and stuff like that. But
you wonder how the hell that's going to work.
Exactly.
Better that we don't even see it. They got him there. They got him there.
And another thing too that gets me, and they never let you know, and it's not a big issue either. But why are they even sacrificing this girl? Is it for their? I mean, typical. Harvest.
I would say it's like to appease him so that he doesn't attack them. It keeps him appeased. He can do what he wants with her. Eat her. Yeah. Keep her as a pet. What. I mean, you got to presume he's eating the other ones.
Yeah, you would think.
But then when he sees the golden-haired woman, that makes a change in him.
Well, I don't know about eating, or maybe just toys with them and then just throws them aside.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
But at least with Ann, it's different. Yeah. He sees something in her that's different. And
it's something he has never seen before.
Right. She's the one that's gonna take the fight out of him in the end.
Oh, and here we go. There's going to be lots happening.
Yeah, all the men come up there
forward, man.
They open the gates.
All with their guns. They're all loaded. They got
a dozen of them going in. They're packing, and a handful and the skipper. They stay at the gate.
Yeah, guard the gate.
Keep the natives under control, but they take off, man. They go
in their huts,
and they don't come out.
Yeah, they never show their face. Yeah,
not till the end. But
right.
Oh God, so amazing. Look at all this jungle foliage that they set up here.
Well, a cool thing that I read about with the this whole stop motion and stuff like that. I mean, they would incorporate, and you'll see through a lot of the stop motion, with Kong and even some of the miniatures and the people. I mean, a lot of the trees and stuff they would use like steel, but they did incorporate some actual foliage and stuff like that. And there was actually, as they were doing the stop motion, as Kong was moving away, one of the plants actually bloomed into a flower, which they had to say, "Oh, we got to take that off." So that's footage that is just gone, and they had to cut out because it bloomed while they were doing the stop motion.
Or it would wilt, like from the hot lights.
Goes to show you how long it took them to do that.
Check a shot out like this. Oh. So you got the fellas in the foreground.
Stegosaurus.
You've got like matte paintings in the back, and then you've got the they would use like the glass panes. I don't know if you look to give it that depth. Like they would use fields of glass and paint things on it, and if you did that for a couple of panes of glass and put the camera way out here, it's like a 12-foot long, 16-foot long shot. Distance
looks like 100
But when you
feet,
look through the camera, you get that depth, almost that 3-dimensional look. Even Disney did that in like Pinocchio and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They would paint the animation on glass, stack them up, and have the camera like up here. It was a special machine they had, and take a shot. And it would look 3-dimensional. You would see, layers. Yeah. So here, the Stegosaurus, our first dinosaur that we see in the movie. You're getting some
good facts in this commentary,
man. Love this movie.
I think this is a better commentary than the one that's on the Laserdisc.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, but
let's throw it out there. This was.
They got the commentary on the Blu-ray?
There's 2, I think. There's one with Ray Harryhausen as well.
Oh, is there? Okay, okay. Well, I'm sure he had.
You know what I like is even on the Mighty Joe Young Blu-ray, there's an interview with Ray Harryhausen and the Chiodo brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're huge fans too.
Killer clowns.
And but I will say that the King Kong Laserdisc was the first movie to have.
Look at that dinosaur!
A commentary.
Was it really?
Yes, it was the first. It was the first movie released to have a commentary. King Kong. There you go.
Wow. Very interesting. Well, here they go. Look at how...
Use one of those gas bombs on this Stegosaurus.
Yeah, well, first they all started shooting it with all their guns, so they must got plenty of bullets. But anyways,
and there's Carl with that bomb, and
this dinosaur, I mean, it looks like a Stegosaurus, but when you get to that head and that face, and even the body looks like just a bunch of rocks. Like, I mean, the way they made the skin texture for the dinosaur... just was very cool, and he's still moving.
This was like front projection. They would put like the projection of the footage up there, and the actors just walk in front of it. Yeah, that's how that was done. But see, Willis O'Brien had been working at RKO on a film called Creation about sort of like a Lost World, Arthur Conan Doyle type film, and he had already spent $100,000 and only shot like 5 minutes of footage.
What the?
It took that much money because he was inventing how to do this as he would go. And it was already costing $100,000, and that's all he had. And I don't know if I had mentioned at the beginning, but when Marion C. Cooper had the idea of having a gorilla and a Komodo dragon actually fighting with miniature sets, he and he was still working with Ernest Schoedsack, but he eventually took an executive position at RKO. And he saw this footage of Willis O'Brien was doing, because he was involved in some of the decision making, and he had that idea for that gorilla picture he wanted to do, and that was one of the conditions of him working at RKO. I want to make my gorilla picture somehow, some way. I want to make that movie, and he kind of got the Willis O'Brien and him got to talking, and O'Brien told him, I think we can make your picture happen using stop motion. So the kibosh was put on creation. And many of the ideas...
Well, it would have to be. I mean, it took 90... It didn't even take 100,000 to make King Kong.
Well,
No. I take that back. It made 99,000 opening
and
day.
Opening,
so there I go.
Opening weekend. Or
figures
like
a little mixed up.
But I mean, what I'm getting at is that since creation was scrapped, a lot of those ideas, which were already storyboarded out and plotted and planned, carried over into Kong. Cool. So that kind of helped. And, we get real nervous these days if you hear like a Star Wars movie's coming out and they're still working on the script and they're shooting and the script's going through changes and things like that. And there's another dinosaur coming. I'm getting to it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like...
During this movie,
these dummies
they were
on a
working
raft
on the script the whole time. And, I mean, they still didn't know exactly how things were going to go.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that this movie turned out as good as it did. And I think that goes to Ruth Rose for making those characters so believable and so lifelike, and in some cases larger than life. Got something to say about that in a second too. Okay. So yeah, the fellas are chasing Kong. They find the big footprint.
Yeah,
and they get to like a lake.
Yeah,
and they can hear Kong splashing through, but they can't walk through this water. So they build a raft in like 6 minutes.
Yes,
they don't have any axes or anything, but somehow they jump down.
Do you like how John Driscoll's he's pushing the raft too with maybe a 10-foot stick?
I have no idea.
Yet there's a big gigantic dinosaur, a little bit off.
Yep.
Deep in this lake. Makes no sense, but anyways, don't mean to put down a little bit, but
the
Brontosaurus
kind of sticks its head up out of the water.
Yes, it's very cool though.
And
it picks up. I love how these dinosaurs pick these bodies up.
Oh god, yeah! It ends up knocking the raft over and just taking its pick of these guys, just grabbing them, throwing them out. Now, interesting little story. While the dinosaur is eating all the guys here, King Kong might be to blame for the Loch Ness Monster in that. About 6 months after the premiere of this movie is when the first sighting of the Loch Ness Monster happened.
Really?
Yep. And some people think it might have just been people remembering this movie. I read it. I don't know if people saw the Loch Ness Monster in the 1800s or anything like that, but that's what I read.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, it's interesting that you read that, and it might have spiked occurrences of that, but technically. Well, I'd have to go back to the Loch Ness because I remember, these
that specific one.
Yeah, okay, you could be right. We'll skip
I could be
that.
wrong, and I'll
because
let me know.
There's been
no one ever lets me know if I'm wrong.
There's been I know for a fact that there's been stories that've gone back, since anybody's been around here,
with sea monsters and things.
Right,
like that.
Right.
Sure,
yeah. But yeah, you could be right with the whole Loch Ness thing.
That's what I read. Look at that's some great detail on that creature. Look at that coming out there.
I'm telling you,
chasing these guys.
The dinosaur looks really good,
and
especially that scene, that was really good.
And then here's the dumbass. It's what I call him in this movie, the dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm going to climb the tree. I'm going to put myself in good chomping distance. Let's get closer to the mouth, you idiot.
Look at how he's crawling up that tree, too. This is what's cool. I mean, the effect of how the figures...
stop motion figures.
It's just...
but look at him. Look at that. How am I going to get him?
And this stands out to me as a child, too. I remember this scene just because it was probably so stupid, and it's a cool scene.
But it's also horrifying when he finally gets the guy, the music stops. And you just hear him screaming. And these are some of those scenes that were cut out as the film was re-released later in the 30s. The decency board,
oh my God.
Whoever was in charge there just said, that's not right. That's not decent for people. Would cut it out.
Oh,
here's Kong and Ann crossing this log. Now here I gotta digress for a second here because the fellas are still running.
Yeah.
You can assume that they're running away from the Brontosaurus.
Right.
Okay. But a scene was actually filmed. Mm-hmm. And we're getting to the most classic lost scene of King Kong here.
Yes.
They are actually being chased by another dinosaur. They get away from that, and then there's something sort of like, imagine like a Triceratops type dinosaur. This was filmed. Right. Actually starts chasing them across the log. All right, and Carl ends up ducking out one way. Jack Driscoll ends up getting down in the little gully there. But as they're crossing the log here, the fellas, Kong has set Ann down in a tree, and he's because he hears the guys coming.
Yes,
he comes over there to get at the log. The fellas can't. You always wonder, why don't they just run back the way they came?
Right.
It's because there's another damn dinosaur over there, blocking the way, and that was cut out. And there's still shots of it. I think we've got one to post for you up here of that. And you can see the other dinosaur on the other side. But that's why they couldn't run to the other side, because there's another damn dinosaur over there. They're stuck between two monsters, and that's why they're hanging onto the log. Ugh. And Kong is knocking these guys down into the pit.
You see their bodies hitting the ground.
Bam, and bounce.
I love the dowels, the body dowels in this movie.
You see the arms flail up.
Yeah.
And this is getting to the point of the most famous cutout scene that most people didn't even know about until like the 60s. Like Forrest Ackerman would publish his Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine, which, that and Fangoria and Starlog, we all read those when we were kids, I'm sure, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s. And he published a still. He would publish pictures of King Kong all the time because I love King Kong. But he published a still of that spider and talked about this spider pit sequence that was cut out of the movie, where some of these guys who fall down the pit, and if you saw like the Peter Jackson version, he recreated it and put it in his movie. I love this. The one guy won't shake off, so he just takes
and throws the whole log down there.
F you.
Meanwhile,
some of these guys survive the fall, and they start getting attacked by giant crab and tentacled and giant spiders, and they fight to the death down there. Marion C. Cooper. This was filmed.
Right.
All right. We know this was filmed. It was storyboarded. It was because there was actual letters written by Marion C. Cooper saying, "I'm cutting this scene myself because it slows the action. Instead of getting to Kong, we want to get to Kong.
Right.
You got a little 5-minute sequence.
And I could see it, although.
But Willis O'Brien said it was like one of the best things he ever did.
Wow.
And on the Blu-ray, Peter Jackson and his guys actually, using the old techniques, the old stop motion, trying to match up the colors and the actors as best they could, he recreated that scene using the pictures of the puppets and the drawings as faithful as they possibly could. Wow. And it's kind of cool to see what could have been or what possibly might have been. Yeah, like there's this interesting creature. Did you see this?
Yeah, it's like a giant gecko or something.
But it only has 2 legs. It only has front legs. The rest of it's just a long, slithery tail. And that was down there. And in the part that when Peter Jackson and them are working on that, you actually see that creature climbing up because it's going after Jack up there. And yeah, Jack Driscoll's in that little alcove, and Kong's trying to grab him. And look how cool that is. You see him live action down there.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got the stop motion up there, and he's reaching down and grabbing him, and Jack's stabbing him with his knife. And
he's going... Ugh.
Kong finally just says, "Oh, hell with this. I'm out of here." And here we go.
Well, he hears Ann screaming.
Because a Tyrannosaurus Rex is coming at her.
And this is the classic fight scene.
What a fight. And evidently, Willis O'Brien, besides being an animator, was a lot of other things in his life. He was a cowboy and he was a boxer, won like 9 fights.
I was going to say, King Kong's a boxer and he's punching.
I love when he punches him in the face.
King Kong just starts punching this like he's a UFC fighter here, man. It's awesome.
Those shots, he's just, bam! There it is! He just got him one.
No, it's awesome how he does that, yeah.
But see, this, and again, this shot, you had a pane of glass that was painted and had some actual live foliage on it.
Yep.
Then you've got the stop motion in between.
Yeah.
You would have had another piece of glass with some more foliage
like
and
right
stuff
there.
And the matte painting way in the back.
Yeah, you got to look at the details if you're watching this.
Because that's got depth of field way back there.
And look at Ann, how she's moving real fast, real fast. I mean, it's just all these little things that you look at in here with the stop motion here. It's just awesome to look at.
Can you imagine how long that took? And some people like to make fun of, like you always see like the shifts in Kong's fur and stuff there. But you got to understand what I love about it is that I know every frame he's in, someone had to touch him. Someone had to love him and move him and get it just right. Oh, they knock Ann down in the tree
and she's
during
stuck.
the fight. Yeah, she's pinned.
You got to think some of that hair is going to move too, though. I mean, as he's fighting, but
it works when he's on top of the Empire State Building because it almost looks like the wind is blowing through his hair.
Yeah.
And that's what some people thought. Mm-hmm. Like the animation's so good, you can see the wind blowing through his hair.
See, it worked, man. But
it's just. I look at like a movie like Nightmare Before Christmas that has so many fans. I mean, same principles, And even if you take computer animation, CGI, you're doing it in a computer, but you're still using the exact same principles of animation. Yeah. So I mean, without look at that when he's on top of that T-Rex and pulling his jaw apart. What is cooler than this movie, dude?
A little, yeah. I mean,
look at him go.
You could call that gory, but
look at it. You're going to hear the crack.
For the time, can you see the people at the theater going, oh my!
Now, some people supposedly say that spider sequence was in the print, and it freaked people out. Oh, look at that! And he smashes his.
I love this where
he just plays with it.
Well, he's making sure. He's like, oh, did I do that? Did I break
this? Just playing with his jaw a little bit.
Did I break the lower jaw? And then he starts.
Yeah. But I hope someday they can find the real spider pit sequence.
Yeah. Don't you think that somewhere out there's got to be some kind of print?
Well, Jesus, I don't know. Not too long ago, Horror of Dracula from Hammer, a Japanese print was found that had an extended, gorier. Death scene of Dracula.
Yeah,
you can go on YouTube and watch the differences.
Yep.
And how many? That's 50 years later, and we found it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this is older.
We found scenes from other films, and I just hope that if they ever find it, that they restore it back in the film and give it both ways. Let us have it this way, and let me see it with that in there too.
Right, two different versions. It's not that hard to plop them both on there.
That I feel like, and I would go with, I would also compare it to like the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm a big fan of the extended versions.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, more Lord of the Rings is better Lord of the Rings. More King Kong is better King Kong.
Yeah.
And, I don't care that, Return of the King extended is 4.5 hours long. It's one of my favorite books.
And they're long stories, and there's so much in there that you just can't take out.
And if you're a fan of the book, it's just so much. It's just so great that it's there.
Yep.
And for Kong, more monsters, more dinosaurs, more everything.
More foliage,
more foliage.
More Fay Ray, please.
Anything that you got, I'll take.
I would love to see him like giving her a bath in the lake pond there.
Yeah.
Pre-code.
So Jack Driscoll, he climbs out of that little alcove he was in after Kong and the T-Rex fight. Denham, he's on the other side of the ravine.
Yeah, he got hooked onto something, and he had
ducked for cover.
But he was there for a while before he came up to the end.
So
he wasn't stuck that whole time.
No, he just ducked for some cover when
he's
when
probably
he was going
catching
down.
his breath, going.
So he can't get across the ravine. Jack's telling him, go back to the gate, get the skipper. I'm gonna go after Kong. I'm just he might
by yourself.
Down. Well, that's what he says. He's like, well, somebody's got to stay on the trail, and he might set her down. He might set her down for a second. Maybe I can get her.
And he says, well, I'll get her back there, or I'll let you know somehow. Give you a
I'll
signal.
Signal you where I'm at. Oh, look at the blood oozing from that dinosaur.
So and he's basically following him, and I'm surprised Kong is going so slow.
Well, look at all this foliage he's got to go through.
Well, and if you look at that big wall and you look at Skull Mountain, it doesn't look to be that far away. You notice that at the beginning?
Maybe he lives on the other side of it.
That's just he go. That's where he takes her, though.
That's right. Maybe he lives on the far side of Skull Mountain.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
And I like how they didn't do it stupidly where Skull Mountain actually looks like a skull like they do in all the other damn movies.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what are the chances of it actually looking like a skull? It's just kind of round, bulbous, shaped like a head.
Yeah.
Denham makes his way back to the gate, kind of tells the story of what happened to them, and he gets some updates. The natives haven't been doing much, and basically he just says, we'll wait till, we'll wait till morning, and then, whether we hear from him or not, we're going after him. All right, because
did they say that? Because I thought he said we'll wait till morning, and if we're off.
Yeah, like whether we hear from him or not, like whether we get a signal from him or not, we're going.
You think he meant to go save them?
Yeah,
okay.
To go back after them.
I don't know why I took it to where they were going to leave the island.
No, they're going to go back.
Which doesn't make no sense.
No,
but,
whether they hear from there or not. I mean, it's dark. They can't navigate that through there. But, yeah, whether they get a signal from or not, they're going back after them.
Like, see,
no, that's not this kind of movie, man. They don't,
no,
they don't
I didn't
leave
think
them
so.
behind.
I didn't.
But
here they
and he's still wanting to get his movie. You know, I mean, this is a hell of a story, and he ain't got a lick of it on film yet. Yes,
that's so funny.
Oh, I love the cave, the lair.
This is cool.
And you're right, man. It's just it's one thing after another after another.
Yeah, it's nonstop once they get to the.
Once Kong's in it, man, it's action.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like you said, I love this cave. It's so cool. And look, you could see John moving up the side.
Yeah,
in the very
right there.
shadows up.
Flipping over.
It's almost like
look at the bubbling tar or mud in the front there. And this is what I was talking about. So you've got stop motion. Look, you got the ripples in the water. That's real water.
Yep.
You've got the miniature set in the back here, and then he's going to set.
If you look close, you can see the stopping of the film too of that water as it's going. So I mean, if you look close, you really have to.
You can freeze frame this movie and see rods and
you
things.
can see it moving right there. There's the snake, serpent coming right there.
Look
snake
through the ripples.
Yeah, it's just amazing,
so bitchin'.
Man. And he puts her.
And you know what he does?
Ann up in a little cove.
Yeah, he puts her up there in the alcove, and that little snake's coming up, and Kong's actually picking a flower for her over here. That's what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she screams, and that gets his attention about this snake creature.
Yep.
But look at him here. It's real quick, but he was picking a flower. He was going to give it to her. And, then they go off into this fight here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like you and I were saying before here, this scene, you got the stop motion, you got the miniatures, you got real water, you got matte paintings in the back. That's a special where you see Jack down there. There was a small screen, and they did, like, front projection there, or front project, whatever.
Yeah.
They projected, and Fay Ray's up there. Those are little screens that they're projected on.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's like 4 or 5 different things going on in one shot.
No, it's amazing, man.
And this was all invented. There was no book. There was no one to say, here's how you can do this. Mm-hmm. It's like, here's what we want to do. How do we do it?
Yeah, the experiment.
And when they would start doing these stop motion shots, they had to finish the shot because you couldn't come back the next day.
No.
The light would not. The intensity of the lights would change as the day goes on.
You have to complete the scene.
Right.
Definitely.
It wasn't probably like now. And they had special tools to make sure everything was measured just so and all that. It's actually interesting if you learn about stop motion how they had to, like these sets would have tons of holes drilled in the bottom, and like when Kong's in there, his feet would be bolted. And that way, because these are stiff figures, they're not real limp, they're real stiff, and you got to move, and you can't have him, toppling over and losing, the spot where he was at.
Right.
So, every time he moved, you had to unbolt him, move him a little bit, bolt him back in, and a lot of work.
No
for
kidding.
these
I mean, you have to have tons
and
of
that's
patience,
how they do it now,
man.
too. That's still how they do it.
Tons of patience, man,
like
for this stuff,
the studio Leica. Did like Coraline and Paranorman. They just did a movie called Kubo and the Two Strings. I don't know if did you guys get to see that?
Haven't seen it yet.
It's coming out on Blu-ray later this month. It's fantastic.
Can't wait to see it.
Japanese, very Japanese flavored and just so cool. Probably their best one yet. But back to Kong, he takes her out of the lair. And it's so cool. You see him walking up the rocks and out. And he just goes out on his ledge there and just...
where he can scream over the whole
I'm King
island.
Shit.
He's King Kong.
Yeah, he sets her down and she's like, man, she's
exhausted.
Out, man. And another famous scene that's going to get cut out, starting I think in 1938, is when he starts peeling the layers of her dress off.
Yeah,
he starts,
pre-code. They allowed this then.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't get naked or anything.
No.
But, according to like an interview with Ray Harryhausen, he said this was almost seen as almost a type of rape or something. He was, or we should, and the fact that he was sniffing his fingers was just seen as kind of,
oh my god,
a little tacky. I think it's great. It's like what a guy would do.
Well, yeah.
I mean, my wife always says, why do you smell? Guys, we'll sit there and rub our ear. It's gross, but it's just what we do. It's millions of years of that goo in the back of our brains, from when we, used to hide in caves afraid of the sun and shit. And
no, I know.
Look at her, man.
Yeah, she's Oh my god.
Very sheer there. But yeah, he rips off about 4 layers of dress and he's sniffing and
Yeah.
But I mean, look how cool that is.
Oh, I know.
He's stop motion. Kong is moving and she's like, look, he's tickling her, man. He's
I know he's like playing with her a little bit. Yeah, you know. Yeah, he's tickling her. You know, like
she's not laughing.
Yeah. But, oh my god. But yeah, he the whole finger sniffing thing. Yeah, that was kind of odd when that.
Yeah, there
happened,
he goes. See, he just did it.
When that
he tickles her, and goes.
Yeah, when that happens there, I'm just like. Yeah, I mean the thought that goes to your head, but anyways,
she's different than the others. You know, he's had a bunch of those native girls. He knows what they smell like. This is different.
Yeah, a little bit of perfume on her,
he's not
maybe,
hurting
or
her. He's being very protective of her.
Yep.
I doubt he was like that with the others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this one's different. This one's special. This is mine. You know, he's developing feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
Not love. I love you, but. You know, as a type of love that Kong can feel, that's what
like
he's
a pet,
got for.
You know, this is your thing. What you have. See, look at that. The stop motion of these people are creepy to a point. Isn't it creepy there?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like a very eerie...
the pterodactyl coming after her.
Well, and he should have taken off very quickly, but she's fighting him.
Oh, and there's Kong. He's going to grab... Look at... You can even see the wall down there.
Yeah.
You know?
Look at her crawl off. Look at her crawl off in the back.
Look at Kong going... Man, he's biting the wings. Oh, God, this movie's got everything.
Yes.
I mean... Nothing's better. As far as like an action-adventure movie, nothing's better.
No. And it's great that all the dinosaurs stayed on this island. And
good thing that pterodactyl didn't fly off to the States or anything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Didn't evolve or
Jack,
nothing.
Yeah, he grabs Ann.
Didn't evolve either.
No.
You know.
So, yeah, see, there's the wall. Down there. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay.
Because that's the peninsula and there's the boat.
And there's the boat. Yeah, okay.
So
okay,
see,
so
all that way.
So
Jack
that is quite a way then.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's got that depth to it. Jack takes this opportunity while he's fighting the pterodactyl to grab Ann.
Oh, yeah.
And they start making their way down a vine. Down the sheer cliff of the mountain.
All for naught.
Yeah, because after Kong defeats
not for naught, but
the pterodactyl just throws his ass off the cliff. Mm-mm. He's looking, where's my girl? Where's my girl? And he sees that. And he just starts pulling that vine back up.
Who's that guy taking
hell no. Hell no.
I'm surprised she's hanging on to Jack so much, man.
Look at that. Look at him pulling him up.
Yeah, he's just like, you know.
So they don't really have much choice. They're going to have to jump for it.
Yeah.
And damn how close they get to those rocks.
I know. When they fall,
yeah.
I see how close she is to
I'm surprised they didn't reshoot that just to get them a little bit further out. You know, because...
Well, no, I would have said, you know what? Perfect.
But that's the adventure right there. Look at that. Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Man, I feel like I would have been skinning my knee on that thing.
Oh, and Fay Ray's underwater. Okay.
Fay Ray above water, underwater. You know. Have you ever seen her in... she also made during this time House... The Mystery of the Wax Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another great one she did at this time, too.
No.
And I know that film I talked to you about... The Vampire Bat with Dwight Fry. She's in that as well. With
Vampire Bat. Okay.
I think Lionel Barrymore.
Yeah.
And Dwight Fry and Fay Ray is fantastic. You got to see it. Great Dwight Fry movie. Probably the best one he's done.
I'm going to have to figure out what I watch tonight later on. The Vampire Bat.
Vampire Bat. Okay. Or Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah, we'll see. The Most Dangerous Game sounds very interesting.
It's only like an hour. You can watch them both.
There you go. I like, then once Jack does make it off and they're getting away, so
running on foot.
I love the running through. The scene's awesome,
and the music gets real intense. You know,
yes, and all the other people
they see him coming
out protecting the wall and waiting for them, and they see him at the top of the wall.
Jack and Ann, they're here.
Yeah,
you know, all the films she did. You know, I don't know how she felt about. You know, I never read her biography or anything. How she felt about just being known mostly for this film, but but she done a lot more. Yeah, tons of films. Here, Ann, have a sip of whiskey. Mm. No, I'm all right, really. And then she collapses.
And after all of that, they're like refuse the captain.
No,
he's like he's a drunk. So what the fuck? I'm trying to help you guys out here.
I love Denham here. He's just like, we came here for a motion picture, and this is the greatest story anyone's ever heard of. And if we could get close enough to get those bombs at them, we've got them. And they're like, and Jack is like, forget about it. He's up on a mountain. An army couldn't get to him, and I love it. He looks at Ann and he's like, yeah, but we got something he wants. I'm like, oh, that's so
cold, man. That's so cold.
And he ain't too far off the mark, is he? Because Kong's already there.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh shit, it's Kong. He's here already.
And what do? They close it up and they start hitting the gong and they calling the tribe.
Yeah.
Come help, Bala.
Yeah, Bala, get your asses over here.
Bala.
Get your grass skirts. Look at the guy, he falls in. He lifts up the chicken thing and falls into the chickens.
Ted, did you notice that there were like 30 chickens under that little thing? They don't have no room to roam. It's kind of like they do it today.
They're not free range at all.
No.
Oh, excuse me. It's just a late horror show. I'm watching this 2 times in one day and I'm not even bored. And
how can you be?
Look when he comes up there and he starts banging on the doors.
And he's just like pushing.
But see, this is why they sacrifice all them people, so he wouldn't do shit like this.
Yeah, because technically he can, if he gets enough adrenaline going, he can break through the wall, break through his cuffs.
I know in this film,
molten lava steel, whatever.
People who know this film really well have like freeze framed it, and you can see the occasional part where there's a little rod or something holding up the puppets. But there is one part here that I always notice. Yeah, it's going to be coming up here, and I'll point it out to you. But it's just it's a product of the type of animation they were doing. When he finally gets the door open, and you see the bar, it's cracking. There's like 8,000 people there trying to hold the door closed, and it's not working. But when he finally gets the door open, if you look at the bottom, you'll see that Kong's image. Look at the bottom of the door there on the right. See how he kind of bled through the door there a little bit. It's so quick. If you're not really paying attention, if you're not
I actually didn't notice that.
That's the only one I've ever noticed. The only flaw that I noticed.
Okay.
But yeah, he's through.
I didn't notice it.
And everybody's running. Oh boy, here we go. I love the one native. It's like she's got 2 halves of coconuts as a bra.
Yeah. Because they couldn't have her. I mean, this is pre-code, but they couldn't have her topless.
Yeah. Well, we wouldn't have wanted to see that particular one. No. Maybe some of the others, but not that one. Oh, look at this. And again, this is the first movie to have a giant monster in it. And not just a giant monster. He's a freaking character. He's the main character of the movie. Yeah. And
I like how softly the stuff falls on
the emotion that he puts out and everything. He's a character. Look at it. There's Carl. Get them bombs! Oh, someone left a little baby.
Buckwheat's in this.
Jesus Christ, Buckwheat.
There she is. She's like,
okay. Oh, look at everybody's running by, leaving the poor little kid.
I know.
Someone grabs the tyke. But
I know. How could you run by a little child like that and not pick him up?
But
they eventually pick him up. I like this where they start spearing them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be that high up.
No,
not me, man. No,
and not in a structure like that.
Right.
That's just plain...
Look, he takes the stick, it just knocks one of them over.
Ted, that's just plain old dumb.
There's a whole slew of scenes here that were cut. Here, where he just takes the native, puts it, that close up there, cut, 1938, gone. And a print wasn't found, or a complete print wasn't completed again with the lost footage until 1971. So from 1938 to 1971, you had like 6 minutes chopped out of this movie that you never got to see.
Unbelievable.
Look at him throwing look at him, threw a spear in his ass. Oh, he's like, I'm coming to get you. Yeah. Boy, you're dead meat now.
I love how he's walking here. I mean, it's just
a rampage.
And
it's all to get her back.
And he's picking up all these people, putting them in his mouth.
Look at this. He lets him crawl a little bit. Picks him up again.
If you look close at the
steps. Oh, I love it.
Look at a person in a window, Ted.
Yes, screaming. He's going to grab that one, too. Oh, but look how he toys with him. He puts him down, lets him crawl a few steps.
Yeah.
Grabs him, pulls him back. Smash. Oh, God. Look, he's going to do it again.
Oh, my God.
And he doesn't just step on him. He grinds him in there.
Yeah, like he's a cigarette. Let me smush you out.
I mean, what was so indecent about this?
I have no idea.
I mean, it was perfectly fine in 1933, but in 38, we're so much more sophisticated. I mean, it's a monster movie.
You know how things got, Ted.
I know.
Here,
one bomb, man. Everybody else is running.
Carl Denham grabs the bomb.
Bombs, and I guess one does the trick.
Yeah, I was surprised. Because even the Stegosaurus, they threw the bomb, but they had to shoot it like 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Here, they get the ape, and,
But, he got it up there close, man. He took it right in the face, and...
Right. I mean, it did actually go right into his socket, and he crawls, and he just...
Look at that. And then you start feeling, for him. It's like, damn, it's not his fault.
No. They keep him behind the big wall.
He's not trying to be mean to her. And at the same time, I know she wants to be the hell away from him, but I don't think she wants him to be mean to him at the same time.
No.
I think that's illustrated a little bit more in the other remakes.
Yeah.
With Jessica Lange and Naomi Watts, I think they make that a little bit more obvious that they don't want him hurt.
And I have to say Jessica Lange, too, is...
Whoa, yeah. Yeah, that's about the only good thing of that version.
Yeah, American Horror Story.
I remember watching that on TV.
It's still going.
Yep. And the thing is, I love... And I've seen every Kong, even the Japanese Kong movies.
Yeah.
And stuff. I've seen every Kong movie. And even though I said I had no interest in it, I will probably go see the new one. Because it is Kong. And I've read the books. And they even wrote a book, Kong, King of Skull Island, which delves into the backstory of Kong and all that. And that's a cool book. I remember getting the book from my public school library.
They made a big deal here in this scene.
Yep, they had King Kong, and I read the book, and it's just
What were they saying in this scene where they're all lined up? They're
because
paying how much for the ticket?
Oh yeah. Well, before that, Denham said, after he knocks Kong out, he's like, boys, we're gonna build a raft. We're gonna take him back to America. Everyone's gonna pay to see this. He's like, we'll make millions, and I'll share it with all of you. Yeah. And you absolutely believe that, man. Everyone's gonna get their cut.
Yeah. So I mean, I could see them all caving in and saying, okay, let's.
The next scene, we don't see how he gets back to the States. It's Broadway. It's New York City. Mm-hmm. King Kong, the eighth wonder of the world. By Carl Denham.
Yes.
And crowds of people filing into the theater,
paying Depression era, I think. What
like, these tickets cost me $20, which you assume like $10 a ticket.
Right.
Movie tickets at this time cost between 25 and 35 cents.
Right. Which
was still during the Depression a lot of money, but people wanted that escape.
Oh yeah.
Theaters in New York, I mean, they were showing this like 24 hours a day. It was, like you said, opening day or opening weekend, I mean, it made like $90,000. Mm-hmm. In, was it England, I think, when it opened up, they had to turn 12,000 people away. Just wasn't enough room, And these were huge theaters that they showed it in back then. The screen wasn't so big, but, I mean, you held thousands of people in these theaters.
Oh, it was different.
It was like, Radio City Music Hall, where they have concerts and things like that. You'd go see a movie
Madison Square Garden.
But even the poorest of people, they plunked down the little bit of money they had for that escape for 2 hours. And boy, did they get their money's worth. You never saw anything like this before. Mm. And I like how all the people are sitting down and they think it's a movie. Like $20, this movie. The lady even says, the usher's setting her down, the old lady, I can't sit so close to the screen, I can't see. He's like, ma'am, this is not a motion picture. This is more like a live personal engagement. Well, I never.
She's all
and everyone's
offended.
like, what is this? What is this Kong? Someone's like, I think it's some kind of a gorilla. Ain't there enough of them in New York City?
You're quoting it all, man.
Oh, well, when you watch it every 3 months. I probably do.
Really?
Do. Yeah. Every few months. I pop it in.
It's an awful lot.
I don't get tired of it.
There's movies I'm like that with, too.
Like these top 3 movies that I'm going to do the next couple of weeks, I could watch them every few months. I don't get tired of them.
Yeah.
Like where I would say like Star Wars was one of my favorite movies. I don't even have to watch it that often because it's just right here.
Right.
I've seen it so many times. It's right here. But for some reason, this one's not up here like Star Wars is. I do get details out of each time I watch a little thing here and there that I miss. And I don't know, it's just such a cool adventure story. It's like, how can you're not bored for a minute. Not for a minute. And I really think that Marion C. Cooper and Shota Stack were correct when they were making this film, that the studio wanted Kong to be seen a lot sooner. Get the people in, show the monster. And it's like,
I'm never bored either.
You got to build up to it. Let the story go, let it build up, and then you're right. When Kong hits it, bam, bam, bam. It doesn't let up till the very end.
It never lets up till the very last end.
What's up, man? The future's so bright, you got to wear shades?
Well, I was going to put them on and go to sleep.
Oh.
Because you said you never get bored of this. I was just going to honk out a little bit. But yeah, pretty much he...
So yeah, all the reporters are there, and
you can see this. I was just watching the curtain going up, and you can see the stop motion of the curtain. I don't know how they did that, but yeah, that must have been Stop motion.
So yeah, Carl comes out there. He's got the press in the back. He's got Ann and
Jack
in the
stop
back.
motion.
Why not? We probably just
take us 2 years to make.
Yeah. Well, remember like that Big Chuck and Little John
Well,
skit where
we're
they're
called-
sitting on the ground, like
Yes.
driving the cars? They said that took them a couple years to do.
Wow.
You know, they're just
a couple years.
Yeah, because they couldn't do it all at one time. It took a couple of years for them to do that.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you know that's what skit I'm talking about, where they're on the cars, where they're sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. I got it on a DVD, so it took them a while to do that. You know, that was kind of like an off and on thing.
We're talking about Big Chuck and Little John.
Yeah,
You can find
movie
skits
hosts
on
here.
YouTube.
But they did a stop motion skit where they were driving down the street and it was a cop chasing, but they weren't actually in cars. They were just sitting on the ground, on the street.
Right.
And like with a steering wheel in their hand.
Mm-hmm. And,
And move a little bit, take a picture, move a little bit, take a picture, move a little bit. And it took a couple of years for them to actually finish all that.
Wow.
You know, they drove all over the city.
Big Chuck and Little John.
Yeah. You can see, I forgot what it's called, but...
YouTube, they're on there. They also got a Facebook group, too.
Mm-hmm. That's what we grew up watching here Friday
God.
night, or was it Saturday nights?
Yeah.
Saturday nights with...
I always look forward to it, man.
Yeah. They didn't show always horror movies. They would show like Terminator, and but they would show monster movies too.
But them being hosts, you know, during the commercial breaks and stuff, and having trivias and stuff. I mean, that's what was.
And they always had like the live audience there.
Yes, it was just.
And they did
so
their
great.
skits in between.
Yeah.
They didn't interrupt the movie, kind of like Elvira, you know, like she was known for doing the cheese, and that was her thing, and that was cool. But you know, yeah, Big Chuck and Little John, they did their own little skits, usually unrelated to the movie, but. Yeah. So
nevertheless, this is getting out of control.
Yeah, Carl's telling the story of what happened. He brings Ann and Jack out. Says, you know, they're gonna. Some time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna get married. You know, Ann hasn't seen Kong since they left the island, and Carl even says, you know, don't worry, we knocked some of the fight out of him since you saw him last.
Yeah, right.
And he wants the reporters to come out on the stage to take the first pictures and let the audience see. So he's telling the story, and the reporters come out and they start taking those flash pictures.
Yep.
And Kong starts getting agitated, and he's. Did we say he's up on the stage? He's up on the pedestal. He's like, "Those are chrome steel, chains.
Cuffs
He can't
and chains,
whatever that is."
Yeah, I mean he's up there,
but
locked in.
He thinks that they're hurting her, and he even Carl even tries to stop the reporter. He's like, stop. He thinks you're hurting the girl. He's getting too agitated, and he busts loose.
Another guy puts in his mouth.
Oh yeah, he actually smashes. As everyone's running out of the theater, he actually just smashes down the wall. Yeah. Right out into the busy street.
Yeah.
And just picks up the first dude he sees and just like bites him and throws him down. He's not eating anybody. He just bites him and throws him down.
Well, a lot of animals will do that. They'll put them in right. They'll like cheetahs will do that. They'll break the neck and just lay him.
A lady sticks her head out the window, the high-rise apartment building, and screams,
which gives him the idea that
that's her.
Yeah.
So he starts climbing up there. He's going to get her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at him climbing up there. And
what was the thing in this? I love it. Here he goes.
There's some lady in bed. She's not hearing any of this. I love his face through the windows.
And he grabs her, don't he?
Yeah. And this is terrifying. This is absolutely horrifying. What he does, he picks her up, sees that it's not her, and just drops her. I mean, look at the streets filled with people running back and forth. And look, he's just going to let her go. Like, oh, well.
And how long did it take before they added in the actual... Because this was all stage, like, props and stuff like that. And didn't they actually not... It took a long time before they added the Empire State Building antenna to make it the Empire State Building.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
I think up until... Oh, my God. How long was it? It took 50s. Up until the 50s, the antenna wasn't on there. For the actual to point it out as the Empire State Building.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I said something you didn't know.
There we go.
Yeah.
See?
So they did add that in there just, to make it the Empire State Building. But
I don't know how he just happens to find Ann in that big city.
You know what? I was going to say at this point...
Look, Jack hits him with the chair, but somehow that knocks him out.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
He hits him with the chair and he gets knocked out.
I think because the hand's coming in and it can't really move.
Yeah.
I think the director wanted it to be that the hand kind of knocked him over.
Maybe.
But it didn't move. I mean, but yeah. And
yeah,
why
he
she
finds
didn't
her.
get up and run out of the room.
You know, I guess, it'd be easy to be frozen in fear and, like, oh my God, this is going to happen again. What the hell are they going to do with me now?
Well, like right before that, Jack goes, I will protect you.
Well, yeah, because she's so scared. She's like, I feel like I'm back on the island again.
I'll make sure nothing happens to you. And not 30 seconds later, Kong's got her in his arms.
Yeah,
and,
Carl's there too, man. They got to figure out what to do. Man, this is huge. And, I mean, the idea for the movie came from a dream that Marion C. Cooper had of a giant gorilla on top of the Empire State Building. Mm-hmm. And it's no coincidence that, like the Empire State Building at that time was, the greatest symbol. It was the tallest building in New York. It was the symbol of New York City. And it's no mistake that they're putting the 8th wonder of the world on top of that very building.
Yes.
Just to kind of belittle that building a little bit.
Wasn't that one of the wonders of the world, the Empire State Building, at one time? No?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I'm not sure how Empire State Building compares to, like, the pyramids and stuff like that. But.
Right. Oh, well, who knows? Listen to Todd, man.
I tell you, man, he's
going to sleep.
Nah.
Late night. It's only 20 to 11.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's late.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
That's late for me.
I can tell everybody's my number one's going to be the Maltese Falcon when we get to my 3. That's my number 1, but...
Such Bogart. We haven't done a bogey movie.
Oh,
Bogart. Isn't Peter Lorre in that movie, too? Yes. Peter Lorre's in that movie.
Peter Lorre's in that movie.
What's
his name from the movie we just did?
Salem's Lot. I can't remember his name, but yeah. He's the one that played Weasel.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually a scene...
I love the scene.
The train.
Yes.
When they finished the movie, and this is still a thing that exists in Hollywood now, it was 13 reels long. Considered bad luck. And Marion C. Cooper's like, I'm not going to have a movie that's, 13 reels long. I'll film another damn reel. And that's where this scene came from. And I believe he grew up, wherever he grew up, lived near an elevated train and would just keep him up all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it was just kind of like this is one of his little fantasies.
To tear it down.
Smash the hell out of it. And that's exactly what Kong... He's holding Fay Ray in one hand. The other hand, he's just smashing the hell out of the train track.
Oh, that's so cool.
And the train coming on and all the people on there. And just watch how these bodies get thrown around. I mean, bam, here it comes.
Yeah, no, it's a bad scene. My
Woo!
God.
Now, after they ended up cutting the whole film, it ended up being 11 reels, but still, it was before the editing was done. There's Kong looking in the train, and he's just going to start smashing the hell out of the train. You'll even see people drop out of the bottom of it. Mm-hmm. That's another little detail that I noticed on one of my more recent viewings here. When he brings it down there, he just look at like 20 people pile on top of that lady.
Oh, no, yeah, this is a catastrophe, man. This is...
Little people looking out the windows over there. I can't tell if they're stop motion or not.
Oh.
Look at that. Look, watch. See the people fall out the bottom there?
Yes, they're jumping out of the windows on the other side of the train. Yeah, good catch. Mm-hmm. I love seeing the actual people. Like I said, it's a very airy look to it, and the way they move and all that.
Classic Rio. Kong is heading to the Empire State Building. That is all. And they're at their wits' end. It's like, if he gets up there, we don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And it's Jack who gets the idea. There's one thing we haven't tried: airplanes. If they can fly up there, if they can pick him off, if he sets her down, if they can get him without hitting her, we got him.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that,
you get enough bullets in him, man, you're gonna knock him down.
Yeah.
Poor Kong.
Oh God, but yeah.
Yeah, there they go. There's the Empire State Building in the background there.
I forgot what these planes are called. Something like Devil Divers or something like that.
Huh.
But each of these pilots were paid $100. For that takeoff.
Look at that! Look at that!
Look at the classic scene from the distance of Kong climbing up there.
Yes.
And I like how he's just going like this. Ah! Like a gorilla does, because they did study gorilla movements, and even from that distance you could see him going. Ah!
Yep, he's acting like that ape and trying to get to the summit. And here comes the planes.
Oh yeah, the biplanes coming in.
They're going to attack.
Now, actually, they only focus on like 2 of the actors in one of the planes. I'll point them out. But Marion Cooper and Shotasak are actually the actors in the plane that shoot him down at the end. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we're going to kill the sumbitch ourselves. But that's what they did, man. They flew these planes. Like, you remember like when when George Lucas was trying to get the guys to understand how he wanted the TIE fighters and the X-Wing battle to happen, he would show them the footage of the dogfights from World War One. That's what Marion C. Cooper did. He flew planes. That's what he did. He was in those dogfights. Yeah, they were right there.
That's probably why he incorporated that into the movie.
So, look at him. Look at him up there.
Oh my God! And look at the
top
city.
Of the world. Yep. And here's where, like I was saying before, when they would move him, you see the ripples in his fur. That actually looks like the wind blowing through his fur.
It does look like the wind.
That's Marion C. Cooper in the front and Shotosak in the back.
Wow.
Yep, that's them.
That's cool.
Yep, they weren't actually flying a plane, but they're just like the actors.
Yeah, playing the part.
Although he certainly could have flown the plane if he had wanted to.
Right.
Oh, I love
so scary how he puts her down on the side.
God,
there too.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I love when he gets up there and just,
Yeah, he is an ape.
You're the top of the world.
Yeah.
Top of the world, Ma.
Yeah, and basically they start coming after him and shooting him.
Yeah.
They're just shooting him and shooting him and shooting him. And she's just going to hope for the best. She's just sitting off to the side there, and the end pretty much here of the beast.
Something like this. Just the camera angles and the flying in and out and I just think people need to really appreciate that. Just no one had done this before, and this paved the way for everything to come.
Yeah,
like I said,
wonder how they did that with the camera coming up to him so fast like that. I mean, it was
right because it would be hard, because he's doing the stop motion movement.
And how big is the actual, Kong?
Man.
As the camera's pulling into him like that. It's
because they had several different size puppets. From 18 inches, to bigger. They had just the big model hand, the big head bust. The foot for the grinding, and they had a big foot on there.
Big crane.
I think even Favorite had said, it wouldn't get that tight in that hand sometimes, and she'd be moving and feel like she's about to slip out, and they'd have her up on a crane there and be like, "You got to stop! You got to stop! You got to get me out!"
Oh my God!
Oh look at it! He grabbed one of them. He throws that plane down. That's awesome. Oh God! I mean, I just geek out when I watch this.
How idiotic of
but you really start feeling bad for him. He's just doing what's in his nature to do. He didn't ask to get taken away from his island.
Exactly.
And he's in this place. He doesn't know what the hell's going on.
He's getting shot up and starting to bleed now.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell did I do? You were hurting my girl with those flashes, whatever, in his brain.
Yep.
And, I'm up the tallest place where I feel the safest, and now you're picking me off. Man,
and he's starting to slowly wobble.
Yeah, you don't expect to feel so bad for him.
No.
And the music really, plays up, the emotions here, And again, this is the first movie that did that. So, it's a big deal. The things that you take for granted now, oh, God, here it comes.
Yeah.
I hate
He's got a nice... They did give Kong a nice bracelet for doing the picture.
Oh, yeah. That's his consolation prize.
Yeah, part of the contract.
God, look at that. The blood's coming. Oh, it's
and he keeps rubbing it and looking at it.
Yeah, man, he's probably never bled before. And here it is, man. Look at this. He picks her up one last time.
Yeah.
He knows, but he just wants to look at her one more time.
And, and he doesn't kill her.
As far as she knows, he's going to take her with him, but... then he just, sets her down. He just wanted to see her that one last time.
Ugh.
And look, he's just
That's where the sympathy comes in.
Look, and he's just kind of caressing her.
Yep.
That one last time. It's heartbreaking, and that's the one. That's the one that's going to get him in the throat.
The plane goes by and shoots him again, and he's just about had it. Yeah.
Man, look at that. Just look at the emotion on the face. And here we go. Cooper and Shotosak, that's them. That's the kill.
Oh, and he holds his throat and just...
grabs it. This always got me when I was a kid, man. You knew it was coming. You see the fingers slipping, and there he goes.
Oh, and he falls.
Bam,
and look at how he hits...
Bam! Bam!
Oh, he hits the building, and it's the camera's way off in the distance again.
Like when he was climbing up.
Yeah, and you see him hitting...
That's actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie, too, the fall like that.
My God.
And Denham and Jack, they arrive. They get her safely off that ledge there.
Is that really how tall that building is?
Yeah, probably. I've never been in New York City, but...
Woo!
And then there's Kong on the ground.
Well, we got the terminal tower here, but...
Nah, not even close. I mean, I've been up in that, but not... And there's, Denham. Let me through. This is the guy who captured the beast. And then we get the classic line of the movie, well, the airplane's got him. And he's like, no. It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty that killed the beast. And that's true, man. When he
it was Carl Denham who killed the beast.
Well, I mean,
no, I know.
It's that she changed him.
Yeah.
You know, he was meaner, colder, edgier,
mm-hmm.
and she softened him. In a very short amount of time, she softened his heart.
Yeah.
And took some of that fight out of him, and took the king out of King Kong, sort of. You know, she did that to him, and everything that he did for her. You know, all to protect
everything
her.
she did for King Kong.
So there we go.
She does for
my absolute number one,
Ted's number one
favorite
movie that
I could watch anytime.
You could watch anytime.
Watch it with my little girl today.
3 months, every 3 months.
I sat on the couch. She sat right over here next to me, and we watched King Kong. Man.
Was that her first time watching King Kong?
No, it was like her third time watching King Kong.
That was a dumb question. Yeah,
but you know, I mean, you probably don't remember it as much from when you're 3 and 4 and 5 and 7.
Yeah.
But hell, she's watched all kinds of movies.
No, I know. Yeah.
But that's it, man. I hope you guys.
It's a cool thing, us exposing our kids to these movies. That's
I figure even if they hate them, they'll remember it. And,
yeah.
You know, I even said, like, when Daddy gets old,
when they're older,
bring King Kong over so I can watch it. You know, when Daddy gets old in a wheelchair,
mm-hmm.
you know, you bring the old Blu-ray player over and let Daddy watch King Kong.
The Blu-ray player.
You know?
You think they're going to have that? They're going to have some button you're going to boop, and it's going to project it.
I'll watch my Blu-ray.
Oh, well.
But that is it. I mean, I don't care what your favorite movie is. You're just wrong. And the answer is always King Kong. Because, I mean...
You're always wrong. The answer is King Kong.
That's right.
That's Justin. Ted is wrong. The answer is not King Kong.
You know, I ask
Maltese
people,
Falcon.
What's your favorite movie? They say, I was like, no, it's the
and,
wrong answer.
And the thing is, I mean, it is really hard to pick favorites. Yeah. I mean, it really is. I mean,
it's got to be something special.
It's a struggle to pick. You know, what's your number one? Gets harder when you get to 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you know what I mean? It's hard because there's so many movies, so many genres, so many things that make you feel happy, so many things that make you feel sad, but are great movies, things that inspire you. So you know, you're going to get a top 3 from us, but, you know.
But I think, this...
For us.
Each of my 3 films that I'm going to do, is there's something special about it that speaks about something about me.
Yeah.
And this is just the life I would have liked to have had. The adventurer. You know, another time, another place when the world was a little less, well documented, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, when there were still places to explore,
yes.
in which there's not really, except for the hole in the center of Antarctica.
There's still plenty to explore. The ocean's only 5% technically have been.
We'll let James Cameron do that, I guess. I mean, just this film pretty much encapsulates everything that I love. Action, adventure. Those are my favorite kind of movies.
Fay Ray.
Yeah, Fay Ray. But it's got a little bit of everything, and it's
Jack Driscoll.
I love Harryhausen movies, and those are always the adventure movies. Yeah. And I think just this encapsulates everything. I love everything in this movie. The pacing, the music, the dinosaurs.
If any of our fans are out there, I think you guys should be getting a kind of a feeling on what we each like.
Right.
You probably know style of music.
The
fans that are out there.
Horror movies aren't even my favorite kind of movies.
Right.
It's just I love them. I love the old monster movies such as this, but this is really the best example of what I really love. And
well, you'll like my number 2 movie then.
Oh, yeah? I forgot what it was.
Forbidden Planet.
Oh, well, how convenient! I have that Blu-ray at home.
There you go. But anyways, okay, well, hey, there you go. Next week we're going to do Ted's number 2 movie. What is it?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
I will do the final cut version so that you can be ready, but I like every version of Blade Runner. But I will do, for the purposes of the podcast, I will do the final cut, which is probably my favorite. I think and I will explain what part of my personality that speaks to.
Oh, Rutger Hauer. I can't wait to rewatch this one again.
Yes.
Not that I haven't watched it many times.
Yeah.
See, I mean, this is one that's up there too. I mean, it's... Oh my God, it's so hard to pick your top films. But as you said, I think I'm going to pick films that you're like, that's your number one or that's your number two.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it is because, and like you said, for Colin, I mean, there's reasons why they're my number one,
right.
my number two, my number three.
A little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of memory, but really that action adventure and, you know, like my love of Edgar Rice Burroughs books, you know, John Carter, Tarzan, Land That Time Forgot.
And you would find these on the top lists of a lot of people. And a lot of, you know, so yeah, I mean, we're not...
You know, just that, you know, Indiana Jones, I mean, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, that's just, you know.
Yep. So there you go, man.
Adventure has a name, and it's King Kong.
Another show. Another late horror show.
That's right. So hope you enjoy this one. Cue it up with your movie and enjoy.
Yep.
And we'll be back next week with Blade Runner, man.
Blade Runner.
Classic cult science fiction film.
There you go.
All right.
We're not veering off too much, but hey, you're going to get what we're
do
going to get.
the occasional cult movies, the cult classics.
Yep. We've done Mad World.
That's right.
Well, Ted's third one, I guess we can say too. It's going to be
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah. So
Clint Eastwood. It's going to be another long 3-hour one. We'll do the 3-hour version. We'll do the extended version, I guess.
But this will be, it'll be good too. So.
I will explain why that speaks to me as well, because I've always saw that movie probably at an age when I probably shouldn't have watched it yet, but it just really got to me. That movie.
Can't wait.
I'll explain why. But Blade Runner next week.
Cool. So there you go. Subscribe, YouTube, iTunes, all that. Everybody take care. Catch you later.